Series S coming. I already got 2 of the Starfield controllers and 2 of their headsets. Yeah, they'll kick the can down the road to Fable and oh shit, Buck, did the stream in?
Oh, I might have been oh, I changed the title so it fucking probably did something. But no.
Go ahead and go back live.
It should still be going.
Nah, it ended. Okay.
Let me refresh. That's bullshit. So if I go and update Restream and put a new title in, it starts over?
Yeah, just hurry up and start it while the people's still there.
Yeah. No, it's still going.
I don't see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, come on back in here, y'all. We sorry, man. Buck put his cigarette out on. He put his cigarette out on his keyboard. He hit the escape key.
Oh, I didn't know I was going to do that when I updated the title. Because remember, I was saying it didn't save my title.
I gotta tweet it.
Oh my god!
Shit, man. We had 24 people in, Buck. Damn. I hope we get them back. Shit, man. We had 24 people in, Buck.
Free Arios is back.
If you can, tweet it out. Let's see who else. We just got Barrios in here, right?
Free Arios is back.
If you can, tweet it out.
Shit. I didn't.
Damn. We just got Barrios.
Well, yeah. You live and you learn.
It's okay.
You know, on the in OBS, like Restream. I noticed that I went in under the edit settings. And I just all I did was change the title. I thought it would just
hey, don't you guys find it funny that they're doing this victory lap and it ain't over yet?
Oh, I saw that. I just saw the FTC appealed. And
yeah, well, in the CMA shit.
And the CMA doubling down. They yeah. Oh, I saw that.
They got till the 18th.
Yeah.
Like they might have jumped the gun with this whole thing. You know what I mean?
And if the Ninth Circuit Court upholds the FTC, this is breaking news, Buck. The FTC is appealing Judge Corley's ruling in the Microsoft Activision acquisition case. Looks like this isn't over.
So it's going to get pushed back then. They'll have to renegotiate because there's no way that's going to be done by the 18th.
Yeah, well, it's a 19th. This shit has to go.
Well,
wait. The judge may have violated multiple code of conduct rules. The code doesn't say this only applies if the FTC says it should and brings it up. It was up to the judge to recuse herself by using common sense since her son works for Microsoft. So it looks like attorneys are going to try to disqualify the judge in her decision. God damn.
Yeah, they're going to try and boot her because she made a decision when her son works for the company. That's a big ethical violation for a federal judge. That's why they cited the regulations.
But it is kind of common. So
God.
I'm remain skeptical about that because the judges having those kind of
no,
it's kind of normal in America
themselves.
Now. Yeah, they're supposed to, but
you want to recuse yourself so later after the fact somebody doesn't
can't appeal
it. And try to appeal it. And so if they go that angle, hey Freddie Wayne, no, the appeal got accepted. It's valid. So yeah.
I agree with you that should be the rule, but I'm just saying I'm
Freddie
skeptical.
Wayne, hold on. Freddie Wayne said the FTC knew that beforehand. But Freddie Wayne, it's not the FTC's job. Right? It wasn't their position or their job to do anything regarding that. It's not their job is only to state their case about the doubt of the decision to postpone, right? To have the injunction. That was the FTC's only job. It wasn't their job to go in there and convince anything else outside of why this injunction should stand. They were going to go to court later to defend anything else, right? So yeah, so this new appeal is valid. It's valid. So this case isn't over yet. Something deep down still thinks whether this shit lasts another year, so Microsoft will still get it.
Yeah, me
It'll
too.
probably be watered down in some aspect.
Yes.
Microsoft may have to do what Sony did and have a different entity to divest.
But what if Activision pulls out?
Well, Activision is going to get their $3 billion if this shit is.
But that's what I mean. If it goes past the 18th, 19th, whatever it is, and they have to redo the whole deal, ABK can just walk away.
Well, they can, but here's the thing. They can, but now that the CMA may be willing to hear other arguments and find some kind of way past this, I don't know. At this point, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
You know who does know? Hoag's Law.
Hoag's Law. Yeah.
Hoag's Law. We can go look right now. Knows. I bet you he knows.
No, at this point, listen. None of these guys are lawyers. And most of them that say that they're lawyers, they're just grifters. They'll tell you anything. Just anybody on the internet can tell you anything. You'll believe it because if you fucking work at Burger World, who the fuck are you to know if somebody else is a lawyer? You know what I'm saying? Fucking, I'm a lawyer for all that matters.
I just think it's a lot of minutia, yeah. But you're right about the grifting part. You're grifting every moment of it. Like listen, it's like you might as well. You could just flip a coin and say it's gonna pass or not pass.
Our brother Post Up has been the biggest grifter out of all of this. This motherfucker,
let him work.
He's a certified paralegal now. You know what I'm saying? Bro done moved up to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
I hope there's I hope there's a payoff at the end of that rainbow.
It don't matter.
It's gonna pay off.
Dudes weren't playing games before. Dudes not gonna be playing games after. But this is, it is.
Hey, you never know. Maybe Post Up sees something we don't see as far as.
Freddie Wayne said the deal is done and Microsoft will be closing by Friday. We got 2 more days. So Freddie Wayne, in 2 days we'll have another show. We want you to come on and tell us how did the closing go. Yeah. We don't want to hear any excuses or anything.
I wanted to hear the fantasy version of what they think is going to go and just pretend it went.
Yeah.
Like what is going to happen? I've asked this with Pastor before too, even like months ago.
I don't think they've thought past that far. Like they just want to get back at everybody, so they don't. Yeah. They haven't thought past that.
People,
you know what I mean?
People. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the real. He had a good statement. I agree. He said, "Imagine what Blizzard Activision can do with Halo. What if they took on that IP, right, and decided to freshen it up? And listen, they could probably revitalize Halo and make it a name again and not a laughing stock. They could, but 343 isn't it. I don't think 343 was ever the studio to be able to do that. But I do believe that Blizzard Activision could do it. Now, here's the thing. You're not going to take the people off of COD and put them on Halo and say, hey, spend 5 years working on Halo at the detriment of COD. You can't do that. Do they take Sledgehammer? Every year is a different developer, right? You got Sledgehammer, you got
Treyarch,
and then what's the other one? I think it's one more. What if you took,
I can't remember.
What if you took one of those studios and say, hey, you just get on Halo, and then we're just going to rotate these games out with the other two, right? That could work. But you're not going to take your cash cow, change that shit to throw it on a dead fucking franchise. They're not going to. The amount of revenue billions that they pull in a year, I hate to say it, bro. You can't stop that. You can't put a pause on, because gamers will go elsewhere, and you don't want that to happen. But I do believe that another studio needs to work on Halo, or they need to just go ahead and kill Halo, because it had its 23, 24 year run. Look what they did to Uncharted, right? Uncharted 1, 2, 3, PSP port. a PSP, I mean a Vita game, and then they killed that shit. They let that be that, right? Move on to something else. That's what they need to do.
It's one of those things where the hires up always want you to monetize it and get it out there because they're trying to make money off of the fucking movies and tie-in novels and comics. So you got to keep it out there
Halo,
with the game
Halo
and running it. Yeah, you got to run it into the ground just to keep.
Infinity War. Yeah,
the same thing with fucking going on with Indiana Jones right now. That's why Indiana Jones is out here looking crazy with these fucking shitty movies because they're trying to fucking make the novels sell and the fucking old DVDs.
They took a franchise back from the fucking 80s with Grandpa, and they trying to make him modern. Nobody knows who the fuck Indiana Jones.
It's really to keep it alive.
The only people that know who Indiana Jones are people that were born in the fucking 80s and earlier. Nobody born after fucking 1989 fucking Indiana Jones.
But listen, I understand why they got him out there and why they're trying to keep him relevant. I just think it's just a stupid way to do it. That's all.
I don't understand why they got him out there. You know who they should have out there?
A young one,
right? They Microsoft has a whole bunch of other fucking IPs that they could be trying to bring back. Right? Killer fucking Instinct. Everybody's begging.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's one IP that it wouldn't cost much to make. Everybody's begging for it. It should be the franchise fighter, right?
Can you make a movie out of it though?
Fuck. They're like, fuck that. We don't want that shit. Give us the old grandpa. Fucking Harrison Ford is like 103 years old. They got to CGI his ass out there because he's so fucking old. What are we doing here? And now they got a game. Like, give it a fucking rest.
Well, if he's a younger version, I don't mind that in the game, but
it's not even a younger version. It's the grandpa.
Jesus Christ.
That's what it like.
He's supposed to be a movie serial too. I understand you were trying to go with the 50s sci-fi movie thing, but it didn't really work. He's supposed to stay in the movie serial.
I was like 6 years old. My favorite movie was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I love it.
When I was 6 years old, that's back in the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
My kids don't know who the fuck Indiana Jones
is. An adventure.
They know who Nathan Drake is. They know who Lara Croft is.
And Luke Skywalker.
Yes, they know who Luke Skywalker, Yeah.
But they're trying to monetize the.
Listen,
they paid all that money for
Star Wars.
Lucasfilm.
Even Star Wars, they keep it modern, right? They keep new people and fresh faces coming in. Who the fuck knows who Harrison Ford is? Like, come on.
Yeah.
But that's Microsoft.
What? I can't blame Microsoft on that.
Well, I can.
Disney shit.
I can. They accepted. Yeah. They accepted the role. They accepted the job.
And how many other third-party games did they pass on that they were offered deals with that PlayStation?
Is it really tied to the movie?
They were offered Spider-Man, all the Marvel games that Sony got. They were offered all of that shit. They turned it down.
So is it really going to be tied to the current movie, or I thought it was just general Indiana Jones?
No, it's tied to the movie.
Oh,
it's a movie game.
Oh shit! When's this shit coming out then?
Supposedly next year, 2024. The movie.
They're gonna put it after the movie bombs.
The movie come out. Yeah, it'll be spring.
What? That doesn't make any. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's
that
Microsoft.
Can't be true. That can't.
They don't care. They'll throw that. Listen, do you think they care? They let Bleeding Edge out.
But the whole point of a movie tie-in is you have it come out.
They let Halo out, right?
You're supposed to share the same energy.
They let Redfall out, right? They're about to let fucking Starfield out.
I guess if
all that 30 frames, all that sub 4K, all with no nothing, right? Don't pretend like Microsoft is above letting shit out and just throwing that shit out there.
Oh yeah, I mean no, they definitely would, but it still just seems unbelievable.
the real D. Listen, he said Spider-Man game overrated to him. It's still a good game, but he don't like it. Listen, no PlayStation guy ever said that Spider-Man was the best game ever in the world, right? That would go to
best Spider-Man game ever,
Last of Us or some shit, right? But Spider-Man is still the best comic game ever made.
Well, it's for sure the best
Even
Spider-Man.
if you're a fan of the Batman Arkham series, you got to understand that Spider-Man still surpassed it because, for one, it's new. Even though it's listen, I give credit to the Arkham series. Spider-Man stole a lot from that, and that's what you should do, right?
Yeah, you
steal from the people who did it right.
Exactly.
So you steal a lot,
just
of
like taking from Spider-Man 2,
making your own. Yeah, it is what it is.
From
right?
PS2, you take
Uncharted
from
stole
that.
from Tomb Raider.
It was good,
right? It's good. That's what you do. So, but make no mistake about it. It's nowhere near a mid game. It's nowhere near a bad game, but it is the best comic game that we currently have thus far. Now, you've had opportunities to play the Avengers. You've had an opportunity to play
forgot about that.
the Guardians of the Galaxy. You've had an opportunity to play all of that other shit, right? So you can't say that those games were better than Spider-Man. Knock it out. Spider-Man is that game. Spider-Man 2 is finna be that shit. It is what it is. Yeah. I'm not saying it's going to be better than The Last of Us. I'm not saying it's going to be better than, listen, I hope that Wolverine is better than Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
You should always want the successive game to be better than the prior. But there is no game that Microsoft currently makes that can hold the candle to Spider-Man 2 or Miles Morales or Spider-Man 1. And that it is what it is.
Well, plus the marketing too. The marketing money that you put into it, which I can understand. I can understand bots, kind of getting annoyed because it, if you pay attention to gaming and you're deep in it, you're on Twitter all the time, that marketing is going to kind of get on your nerves. So I understand that to be like, oh, it's overrated and shit. But if you don't pay attention to it,
listen. I hope Starfield knocks it out the park. But Starfield is a new IP, and I know dudes want to say, "Oh, it's like Skyrim, it's like Fallout." It's like, yeah, you can say that, but their last fucking game was Fallout 76. You can make all kind of excuses about it was made by the A team, the B team, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a Bethesda game. It's Fallout. Starfield is Fallout in space. I would just wait to see where it's going to land. The fact that the game isn't in 4K, the fact that it doesn't have any next generation features like ray tracing, instant loading, or any of that shit, right? The fact that, I'm just saying, it is what it is.
Oh, and then people trying to throw it in your face too. So I can see why there'd be a backlash to that. You got all the ponies bragging about how great Spider-Man's gonna be, but it is what it is. You can't.
They should though, because the previous two games were amazing games and got high Metacritic.
Yeah, and
had next generation features, had ray tracing, had instant loading.
You want that energy in gaming.
Absolutely.
You want that fucking energy. You just
listen. We got Spider-Man 2 with Venom.
It's good for
Kraven
everybody.
the Hunter, and then we turn around and get us a Kraven the Hunter movie, right? Yeah. That synergy cannot be had anywhere else. You can only get that on PlayStation and Sony, right? They're making the movie, they're making the game like this shit is finna sell bananas. The last Spider-Man sold 35 million plus copies. You don't sell that many copies when it's just mid. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there.
I think Starfield going head to head with it would be a good thing too.
It should. Starfield comes out in September. Spider-Man comes out a couple of weeks later.
No.
Let the chips fall. If Starfield is better than Spider-Man, score better, kudos. We should want that.
Yeah. I just look at it like there's more people in the store, right? You put them both together. Somebody might fucking buy Starfield because, you know, they're in the store taking their kids because Spider-Man's there, you know?
Yeah, hey, let's face it.
I'm just saying.
Nah, but come on, what are we doing?
What? You see the poster there for Starfield? You get eyeballs on the... Well, you can try to.
Some parent holding little Timmy's hand, right? Check this out, Real D. Little Timmy and his mama walk into GameStop.
Yeah.
You see these big fucking cutout size
Spider-Man, Miles Morales,
and Venom, Kraven the Hunter,
absolutely,
right? You see that? You see the cardboard cutouts. There's probably a real life guy dressed in the Spider-Man uniform. Everybody's wearing their Spider-Man uniforms, right? At GameStop, and then you think some parent is going to hold little Timmy's hand and say, "Hey, son, what game you want? You want that Starfield? Looks pretty cool."
No,
it's like, Mama, get the fuck up out of here. You know what the fuck I came here for. Give me that Spider-Man. What the fuck are we doing? Gonna ask me some bullshit question like that. Some GameStop and poor GameStop employee gonna say, hey, little Timmy, we're out of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But next thing, Starfield. What the fuck is Starfield?
When you really compete though, you have to spend that money on the print, advertising, right? So yeah, they got the Spider-Man cutouts and shit, but if you're in the store and they're actually trying to sell, you know, units or whatever, you got cutouts of fucking, or a poster or Starfield, just so people could see it and know that it's going to be a thing. So it's not just some bullshit for the fucking nerds on Steam, because that's basically Starfield. You know, it's like all the nerds.
Exactly. Let's cut the bullshit.
Yeah,
they already got subways and trains with Spider-Man 2 fucking posted all on them. We already see the advertisement everywhere. Kratos 99. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier, man. It ain't over, brother. It ain't over. Spider-Man, let's face it, it is the game of the year. It will be the highest selling game of the year. That's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, then where's the Starfield marketing at? You know what I mean? Like, Microsoft hasn't really marketed games like that since the 360.
Yeah. And also, I understand you don't want to trick. You don't want to trick fucking the regular Joe into buying Starfield.
How do you advertise something that's free in a service?
I get it. I know.
Microsoft is not going to spend money plastering. Nobody know who the fuck Starfield is.
Don't forget, I was halfway in denial too about a lot of this shit. So
yeah,
as far as like, I don't want to see the old.
Take it easy, Real D. Take it easy, brother.
I don't want to see the old Xbox die. Like, I just, you know, it's kind of already transitioned, and to me, that fucking Phil interview was kind of like, that was the cutting the ties right there. Like that's it. But
you're right. That was the waving the white flag, right? But here's the thing. People are going to go out in droves and spend $70.
So I'm going to fantasize a little bit.
Earn money for Spider-Man 2. Nobody's going to go out and spend their hard-earned money on Starfield, right? You're going to play Starfield in Game Pass. $10, $15.
Steam. They give me a lot of Steam.
It's going to come with a couple of hundred other games, right? The game may get a 70 Metacritic, 65 Metacritic. You know, maybe a 78.
You can get an 80. You never know.
Survivor and Windows Central going to give it a straight 100. They're going to give it 300s, right? You're going to have all of these new publications you never heard of. They're going to give the game 100, right? They're going to hold that shit up. Then they're going to downplay Spider-Man 2. They're going to say the exaggerated swagger of a black teen is back, right? Man. They're going to knock that shit. I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to be honest. I think Spider-Man 2 is going to break God of War's record. Wait, wasn't God of War's record broken recently by some game? Didn't Sony break?
What
was God of War the last record broken? I don't know. So Sony keep breaking their own records. Their games keep fucking breaking. They keep breaking their own records. But Spider-Man 2 would probably sell, I'm going to be honest, 8 million the first 3 days, something like that. If God of War sold 5.3 million in 3 days, Spider-Man will probably do 8 million. Yeah. Fucking, I mean, look at Final Fantasy 16. That's not even a Sony first party game, and it sold what 3.1 million in a week, in like 5 days. Sure. Only Sony games can do that. Can sell fucking bananas. Xbox.
Well, yeah, they are the ones that like they're kind of like the last ones that are in the position to kind of set these. That's the bar, you know. We're spending more money in the marketing, blah blah, and up in the ante every time, right? I mean, Nintendo to an extent, I guess, but
yeah. You know, the reason I don't really count Nintendo, man, is because they're that outlier. People will give them the credit, but they won't give them the criticism. So it's like you can't tiptoe in this shit.
But my point was I take it with a grain of salt every time they're like, oh, they did this many million in this many days and stuff. It's like, you know, you know, that's their job to fucking brag about it and make new make up new terms to say we did great, you know. So yeah. But I know they're still trying, and I know they're spending the dollar, so I'm not hating on it. But
I'm gonna be honest,
I still take it with a grain of salt. It's like Hollywood when they come out and say, you know, when Black Adam we know is a flop now, but when it was coming out, you know, you gotta kind of push it to be like it's
hold the line, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
you gotta hold the line. I think thanks, Mac. I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you. Feeling a little bit better. I hit Buck up. I say, hey, Buck, man, we got to hold it down for almighty Next Gen 720 Johnson. Yeah. And, you know what I'm saying? Still pop our shit and talk shit. And
here's a couple pulled up here in the Discord, too. Manhattan just pulled up. CJ the kids here.
Let everybody know we still here. And
here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just we just open it up.
We wait for our brother. We wait for Big Dot Moo to get back. Yeah. Big facts, man. We wait for Big Dot Moo to get back.
Nobody cares about my opinion. I'm letting everybody else talk. Whatever we want to say. Like Pastor was up here and here yesterday.
Buck, you the host, Buck.
Yeah, everybody can have their, you know.
Just so you bots know, bro. Mac, I'm on your head, man. I'm pulling everybody KD records and Kai. Yeah.
Hey, I'm on Warzone right now.
Just so you bots know, man. Watch out back. I'm pulling everybody.
You know what?
KD
I gotta say this about Mac. Mac always fucking shows up to support no matter what, even if he hates our opinions. Absolutely. He's always
Mac part of the goddamn panel, man.
Yeah.
What you talking about, man?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Mac family, man. Funny as hell. I like when I be catching his ass in the chat of them other podcasts and shit. I'll be like, Mac, your ass everywhere, bro.
Hey, Mac really be everywhere though. I be like, goddamn.
Yeah, Mac be everywhere. Hey, listen, hey man, I don't know if you heard, but rumors are this deal isn't done. The FTC and the CMA doubling down, appealing that shit.
It was supposed to appeal it. What are you talking about? That's what they do.
Oh man, here come Freddie Wayne with his post up talking points. Get your ass out of here, brother.
They're supposed to appeal it. They had today to appeal it. So if they didn't do it today, they was going to lose their opportunity to appeal.
Well, I'm glad they did, my brother. I'm glad they did.
Yeah, they had to file it today, and they're supposed to do that when you lose and you walking away with your tail between your legs. And
you take every win you can. That's all. You're gonna
try to appeal it to save face, but it still ain't going to go nowhere. The motion to appeal is going to get rejected anyway, so it's a waste of time. They're just going through the motions, but it's all good.
Damn, Aaron, y'all make me want to play Final Fantasy 16. I'm about to boot this shit back.
An appeal goes to Superior Court.
Yep, it goes to a higher court, which is going to the Ninth Circuit, which will probably
Microsoft is going to file a motion to squash that motion to appeal.
But it has to be before.
That's their right for an appeal. It still has to go through.
Exactly, and it all has to go through by a certain date.
It ain't got no legs. Y'all see. Just wait.
Hey, Freddie Wayne said it ain't got no.
They're citing their own rules is why they're doing it, is why they're saying that, because normally a federal judge will just step down and say, I recuse myself. That's why they did it.
Freddie Wayne said they ain't got no legs like Xbox ain't got no games.
Oh.
God damn.
Xbox got tons of games. What you talking about? They're about to have a whole bunch more after this Activision Blizzard deal get done.
Name them, my brother.
We already got
Call of Duty.
We got them.
Oh.
They were buying studios in 2018, and we still haven't seen any of these games from when they're buying this shit. That's what's crazy.
Hey, Buck,
Xbox is the
Buck,
best
what
box.
you live on exactly? Twitch or YouTube?
YouTube.
You might want to drop the link because I don't know. Just trying to see if it can come up. Sorry.
Yeah, it was on.
Freddie Wayne, what's your Kyle looking like, nigga?
What happened?
What's your Call of Duty record looking like? What's your KD like? I must have stopped pulling all these bodies.
You already know Freddie Wayne don't play no games.
Did you make it to 8,000 yet, Freddie?
I'm not a big Call of Duty player. I usually just play the campaign and that's it. I don't do all the other
stuff. I told you, he said he just play Phil's pockets. That's it. Oh man, that's all about
pocket pool.
That's it.
He said I'm his accountant, man. Fuck that.
This dude is sick.
Oh man.
But that's what I mean. Like most people, you're not really gaining or losing nothing. It's still gonna stay, the same even if it goes through. You know what I mean? COD's staying multi-plat. Like they're not losing that revenue. They're not that. You know what I mean? Come on.
Let's play devil's advocate. Let's play devil's advocate, right? Let's say if some kind of chance, just some kind of crazy chance,
Hail Mary,
this shit get repealed, right? The appeal go through, and the judge gives the injunction or whatever for the FTC, and Microsoft does it. Can you imagine how fucking Twitter and YouTube would be like? I want it to happen just for the laughs and the videos that come.
I want to see King Thrash's video when it happens, because it'll be a montage of all them Twitter idiots.
Hey, Max here. Max says ponies believe in unicorns.
You talking about what social media group is going to react to it?
That boy Mac funny as fuck. He said ponies believe in unicorns.
Well, what do you mean? It's all your leaders. It's all Colt and Dealer and all the other weirdos. Tim Dog and.
Hey, all I want to know.
They couldn't lead. Let me shut up.
Hey, all I want to know is where that ray tracing at, where them frames at, where the resolution
Here's the deal about ray tracing. I'm glad you brought that up. AMD just don't have good ray tracing hardware. I mean, that's just the bottom line. No, they don't. They really don't.
Wait. Why is it? Why is it that PlayStation got that shit in their game?
Can I finish? Because I'm explaining that. What you're seeing is primary software ray tracing.
On PC.
You're seeing software ray tracing. That's what you're seeing a lot of in these console games. You're not seeing a lot of hardware.
Starfield will have ray tracing on PC.
All of Sony's games, right? All of Sony's games got hardware-based ray tracing.
No, they don't.
Yes, it does. Literally, it does. Go digital, bruh. Freddie Wayne, what are we doing here, bruh?
It's a lot of software ray tracing going on.
Okay, let's say it's software ray tracing, right? Microsoft got 3 extra T-flops. Why the fuck they software ray tracing? I don't give a fuck if it's hardware or software. Why is it the supposed weaker console got ray tracing in all their first party games, but the motherfuckers who touted the ray tracing and baked in the 25 T-flops of ray tracing cores ain't got it in one single fucking game? What are we doing here?
Can we ask a question? Can we ask a question now?
No, you need to answer the question before you ask one.
There's only one studio that you're champion as having ray tracing. What that means is they implement it into their graphics pipeline. That's Insomniac Games. That's who you're championing right now.
So that's who I'm championing. So I'm not championing Polyphony Digital. So I'm not championing Guerrilla Games. So I'm not championing. Wait, no. Listen.
Photo mode ray tracing? What are we doing here?
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. Does it really matter? Ray tracing is ray tracing. I don't give. Listen, I wish Microsoft can give me some goddamn fucking.
Got shadow ray tracing. They've always had in Halo Infinite.
Stop.
So I mean,
they just implemented that in the past month. Don't you start that shit. They just put that in. I'll pull up the articles.
Not like this, Freddie.
So I mean, there you go.
It's we bleed green, brother. This ain't we bleed green. Stop
Halo
with the
Infinite
bullshit.
has shadow ray tracing. There you go.
3 years after the fact.
Stop the bullshit.
Because they was working on other stuff. They was told to stand down.
What? They was working on split screen. They was working on split screen.
What
are we doing here?
We're firing everybody from 343, laying people off.
Freddie,
343 had to get rehauled.
Freddie, have some integrity, brother. This is not we bleed green.
343 industry did get rehauled. I admit that.
And everybody thought Stanton was coming to do campaign shit, and he fucking left.
He was
everybody. Even I thought that when Stanton came back, everybody thought he was going to work on campaign shit.
Yeah,
he's past his prime. So
Freddie, they said stand down, Freddie. Don't fall. Don't go down
That's
that
not
avenue.
what you guys were saying when they picked him back up. Oh, he's so great. Blah blah blah.
I didn't talk about that guy. I didn't say he was the shit. No, I know better.
Yeah, okay.
All I'm gonna say,
studios
right?
like Ninja Theory, Playground Games, Turn 10 Studios, and of course the Coalition. Those are the studios that I'm like, champion, because they do good shit.
Well, where's the next year's game?
Everybody else got to step it up.
Listen. All I want to say, Freddie, is focus on Xbox and why they don't have next gen features, and we'll deal with Sony and why they getting all the next gen features. That's all.
That's fair. Like,
I hate when people do this. I hate when people try to, instead of them criticizing Xbox for what they try to lump everybody in together. Oh man, this generation really been sucking, man. They don't really have nah, motherfucker. You better split that goddamn line and focus on the motherfuckers that ain't got, and don't drag the motherfuckers that got, right? Like, stop it. They'll be like, man, we ain't even got no next generation game. Nah, motherfucker, you ain't, and your console ain't got no next generation game. We've been having fucking next generation.
We don't have we don't have VR. That's true. We don't have.
Okay, Freddie, let me say this. Let me say this. This is, when I say next generation, guys, when I say next generation features, this is considered next generation features. Instant loading, 3D audio, next generation haptic feedback, VR is adapter. Yeah, but that's part of that, right? When I that's
part of controller. Yeah.
Ray tracing. What else?
Insomniac games. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. Insomniac games, right? But that's still, regardless. Even look, 120 frames, right? That's a next generation feature, because that's only on next generation, right? These are next generation features that not only AMD, but that Microsoft and Sony touted to sell the next generation hardware. They promised these things and said that these consoles are capable of them. But
they promised 8K as well.
Yes, and 8K, which to be fair, on PlayStation is the only console that has an 8K game. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like the game or not, it's an 8K fucking game. Digital Foundry said it, right? And the sad part about it, it runs 6K on the Xbox Series. Okay. Yeah, the truth, right? Yeah. So that covers that, right? That covers that.
If you take that as a win, go ahead. You got it.
It is. It's not that it's a win or not. It takes that argument off the table, so we don't even have to argue about that, right? It cancels out, right? So that is something else. Just another thing that PlayStation has fulfilled its promise. And you finna get a fucking handheld, a streaming handheld, cloud handheld, whatever. And like, PlayStation has provided next generation hardware, next generation VR, a next generation fucking 3D audio headsets and monitors and TVs and all of this shit, right? The shit that Microsoft promised, such as the VR and the 120 frames and the ray tracing and all this shit, they haven't delivered on any of it.
So 120 in Halo Infinite, and we got ray tracing.
No. I'm talking about next generation games. I mean, you don't have any next generation games yet.
Hey, where's the ray tracing? He's talking about games in Minecraft that aren't on Xbox beginning of the gen.
Wait.
Okay, he's talking about games that aren't on Xbox One. Okay, I get it.
Well,
Hey,
no, listen.
what about Minecraft? They promised ray tracing at the beginning of the gen.
Well, they had it and then they removed it.
They showed it and they had it and they took it right out, which is weird.
So they had it themselves, then they went with NVIDIA.
They had to remove it.
And then it killed. Then it got ended.
No, they had to remove it because of the parity with the Series S. They
got the
have it in one
clause
game and then so that's why they did it according to Digital.
That's the whole deal with the Baldur's Gate 3 is because of that parity.
Now, Freddie Wayne, the reason I'm talking about next generation features for next generation, not cross, because we'll get into the whole argument about back compat games, way back that's nobody fucking bought a next generation console to play that shit. I'm talking about next generation only. Redfall, you know, and here's the thing. The bare minimum next generation should be 60 frames, any game. Bare minimum. Sony does not have one single game that is 30 frames only. All of their games have 30 frames with ray tracing and all the bells and whistles. They have 60 frames with 1440p. They have the 40 frames, VRR, VRS, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Next generation shit, and they have 120 frames. So with all of these options on the much weaker on paper hardware, my thing is, why didn't Microsoft fulfill their promise when they had supposedly more power to work with? That's my whole argument.
Because they were too busy focusing on other stuff instead of implementing these next gen hardware features. They was busy doing other stuff. Now that
what other stuff?
Trying to acquire studios and publishers for one.
So what you're telling me, right? What you're telling me, Freddie Wayne, is that executives in the boardroom, they are out making deals. And while they're out making deals, the people who actually control the software and the hardware can't do anything without these executives coming, standing over their shoulders and helping them.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that money drives all this. You can't start producing a game unless you're going to fund it. So if they taking all their money and putting it in acquisition pot, there's not going to be a lot left for game development pot. You get what I'm saying? They taking it in one pocket and putting it in another pocket.
Wait. Okay, so in gaming, this is how it works, Freddie Wayne.
Hold on for a minute, bro.
We can't hear you. Big Money, we can't hear you. That Big Money, can you turn your mic up? We can't hear you, brother.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
We can barely hear you, but
listen. I'm sorry, Freddie. I like to listen to y'all before the show gets started. Freddie, this is what, the second or first richest company in the world. Please don't use that as a defense. You don't go and get a $70 billion publisher and then tell all of these other 30 studios, hey, we ain't got no money, y'all. No, you can't do that, Freddie. You can't do that one right there. Freddie, I listen to everything you say, and I like much of the shit you be saying, but you can't use that. You can't use that one right there. This the second richest company in the world, brother. The second richest company in the world. Absolutely. There's no way in the world they can go get $70 billion
company. That's true.
And then say, hey, we ain't got no money to make any games while we getting this studio. No, I can't go with that one. I can't go with that one, Fred.
Jaydub,
big money. Big money.
$100 million is a lot less than $70 billion.
Big money. Here's what up, brother?
Jaydub, remember the article you just was tweeting today about how Sony's increasing their R&D budget?
Yes, about 40%.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about R&D. So all those high-end graphical next-gen features that have to be implemented in a graphics engine pipeline, you need R&D budget to do that. You can't just it can't be no passion of love and you just do it on the humbug. There have to be a cost associated with that. And I'm talking about the R&D budget.
That's not true. Let me tell you why. Years ago, before these consoles dropped, Mark Cerny and Jason Ronald, they said, we want to create this hardware. We want these particular features in it. We're going to get with AMD We're going to create these features, create the hardware to support these features, so the developers can take advantage of it. Once they deliver the hardware to the gamers and the dev kits to developers, it's up to those developers to take advantage of that. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Sony's developers take the time and the effort to implement these features. Sometimes these features come after the game dropped, right? Like the VRS and like Horizon Forbidden West, right?
And expanding the storage.
Wait. Listen. They say, okay, we didn't have VRS day one, but 2 weeks later we were able to patch in VRS so you can use the 120 frames per second.
It wasn't 2 weeks later. What are you talking about?
I'm just throwing it out there, right? Work with me, right?
Yeah. I got it.
Right. So sometimes it's not day one, sometimes it's day two, sometimes it's month two. Either way, they delivered the hardware day one. Now it's up to the developers to do that. Now it costs Sony $0 after they deliver that hardware. That's just what you're getting. That the box ain't changing. That's just what it is. Now it's up to your developers, generally the first party developers, to take advantage of that hardware to showcase it. Sony developers actually do that. Every single one of their first party developers actually showcase the power, the techniques, the 120 frames, the ray tracing, the instant loading.
You know how much testing and work went in for Sony to finally bring VR variable refresh rate? That took a while. That's why it wasn't day one. Same thing with
the technology,
the hardware.
But
it took a lot of testing.
What I'm telling you, it's not. Listen,
implemented that and allowed users to use that.
Testing means nothing. I'm gonna tell you why. None of that testing would matter if Sony and Microsoft wouldn't deliver the hardware that it was capable of, right? That's part of developing a game. That's part of refining your hardware and learning and working with the engineers. This is why the Final Fantasy studio, Yoshi P, right, the developer, he said Sony sent over their hardware developers to be able to help them.
It's the XDev team. Yep, go ahead.
Yes. Well, okay, yes, whatever, right? Sent these people to go over there to help make things a lot simpler and easier and teach their stuff a thing or two, right? So it's not like Sony had to go and cut a $2 billion check to get some shit that's already baked into the box, into the chip. No.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that. But what I'm saying is, I guess I'm trying to simplify it. I'm not trying to make it bigger than what it is.
Don't make an excuse for it. Just say this. Sony developers are more talented, and they were able to harness more power from their console.
The Xbox Advanced Technology Group is just as good and just as talented as the XDev group.
Where are they and where have they been?
That's not true.
Did they not know? Did they not know?
For whatever reason, they've been chilling, but they are now been sent out to different studios now to get people up to snuff. I don't know why they've been chilling, but they're now going out. And they're getting to these studios, getting them up to stuff.
So let me ask you this. So I expect, right, since they finally sent them out, I expect Starfield to launch at 60 frames in 4K. Since they've been sent out and they know what they're doing, right?
That's Jaydub's expectation.
So what is your expectation for them then? Since you said they finally been unleashed, like what are we doing here?
That game to look great, to play great, and have a nice cinematic,
universe.
Brother, we're almost 4 years into this. What are we doing? You don't get to halftime of a generation to send in your LeBron James and your Kobe Bryants, and you don't do that. That's not how that's not how that works, brother.
Some people say Starfield is going to be huge, so just
LG gamers.
So
you sound like Mr. Media X with the hidden GPU that's going to be unlocked with the DX11.
Is it going to be? Are they going to put in the kind of marketing money that they put into Spider-Man?
There's some hidden Men in Black team that's going to come, and all of a sudden the power
is like that. That's funny you said that, but that's a good
man, they're ninjas.
They're like the Men in Black.
Who does the ATG group or whatever? Who do they work for? Do they work for Microsoft?
They work for Xbox.
Okay. Did they not know that Microsoft had a console coming out in 2020, and this is going on 2024, right? We're heading towards 2024. Like, what come on, brother. Like, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but you can't sell me beachfront property in Afghanistan. I'm sorry.
Ricky Brown too. Shout out to you. And Ozzy was saying what's up to Big Money. By the way,
yeah, Big Money, my brother, Ricky Brown was good, my brother. Good. Yeah, he said Big Money, Mike ain't never working. Yeah, man, Big Money, man.
You know what, Freddie? You know what, bro? If I was you, like, I think a lot of Xbox guys, y'all get it, like, kind of twisted, man. Like, what the stuff that, like, the shit that Jaydub is saying and that we be saying to y'all, we're on y'all side. Y'all don't believe that or not. We're on your side. We just trying to get y'all to realize, to tell y'all, like, hey man, ain't you sick and tired of this same old bullshit they keep serving y'all? We on y'all side. We're gamers too. You think we're fighting against y'all. We're just trying to get y'all to acknowledge, hey man, ain't you tired of that? Ain't you tired of, you see how you keep going over these excuses? You keep making excuses for this $1 trillion
What's
company
love got to do?
That's been in the business for damn near 30 years. You keep making all these excuses, and we keep telling y'all, why are y'all making these excuses for the shit they should have been done? The shit that he's saying, it shouldn't even be talked about because it should have been done. And y'all think we're trying to push back on y'all by telling y'all this. We're just letting y'all guys know. Yeah, man, just stop. But
I've been more critical of Philip Aurelius Maximus Spencer than anybody. Man. I've been more critical of him than anybody. I still feel like after all this go through, he do need to step down and let Sarah Bond take the reins, because he's done fumbled. He done said some things. I don't know if his publicist, wrote the shit he said at different events. I'm not sure if it was off the dome. Who knows? But the problem is he done said some stuff that did not come.
Like acting like he's on his way out of the console business. That kind of talk is kind of weird. That's what I don't like.
Some crazy stuff that you as a head of a division like that should not have said. Yeah. I totally agree. He said stuff in the past that I didn't like. When he was at a Windows event, when they was implementing PC Game Pass, and he made a comment that, he prefers to game on PC. And I was like, whoa.
I don't like that half in, half out shit. Like that. That's what they're kind of.
So, I've been critical of that man, but I still stand by the Xbox hardware. The Xbox hardware is great hardware. It's now time for them to show it off. I agree with Jaydub when it's, hey, you got a powerful hardware, but
you got to play that.
Where's the features? Where's the features? All the features that's supposed to be. Where's the velocity architecture? We want to see all, the features of it.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
We only been seeing variable rate shading a little bit, and there was one other feature that was in one of those games that the Dirt developer was talking about. So yeah, I agree. There's tons of stuff I want to see.
But they're going to concentrate on the S now, though.
Engine. Huh?
Aren't they going to concentrate on the S now, though? I mean, are we going to even see that pay off in this generation, or we have to wait till next generation?
I don't know what they got cooking up, how they're going to do this parity. I really feel like that's kind of like the Achilles heel right now, is this parity clause that they got going on with the S. I think the S was only meant to be a Game Pass box. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was really meant to be anything more than that. Probably it's meant for like the casuals. And the Series X is meant for people who want a little bit more visual bang for the buck, so to speak. They just got to get rid of the parity clause. Simple as that.
They're not going to do that because the majority of the Xbox owners are the Xbox Series S.
They need to make a S like an X without a disk drive, and then They can have.
They're not going to do that.
But they're
not going to do that because
they already have the S.
People aren't. Listen, there's two options right now. You can buy a Series X or you can buy a Series S. And the people speak with their wallets. They bought the S instead of the X. And it's at a 80% to 20% split. But that makes sense because you can get an Xbox Series S right now for like $199, right? You any day of the week from GameStop or someplace. You can get it pretty cheap.
And Phil Spencer going to be fired soon, he said.
In the grand scheme of things, that's where the casuals go, right? The casuals don't care about the resolution and the frames and all that stuff, right? People just say, oh, this is a next generation console. This is nice and a little cute and it'll fit in my little station and they just run with it, right? So why would they double down on the Series X if that's not where the gamers saw fit to buy? That's just, it is what it is, right? And I guarantee you, their next console, next generation, if they have a next generation console, it won't be power. It's going to be equivalent to a Series S because that's where the gamers are. That's where the casuals are. It's going to be go play on PC, go buy your PC or buy this Xbox Series S2. That's just what it is. But back to what I'm saying is
Jaydub.
I hate when people lump PlayStation and Xbox together to try to take some of the heat off of Xbox.
No, you can't do that.
No, it's true. Think about it. Microsoft came out with microchips in their mouth, talking about eating monsters for breakfast. They made these montage videos popping big shit. They finally decided to put it on private because they got tired of people mocking fun of all the shit that they said, right? That never came true.
Didn't come to fruition, man.
And then here's the thing. Nobody is going to make your hardware sing like your first party. And their first party didn't do shit with the hardware that they have. And that
doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter now.
It doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter at this point. I think because the gamers, the minds are already made up, right? People are already, if you're an Xbox gamer, your mind is already made up. You're never going to get the shit that they promised, and you're just going to ride with it, Game Pass until the very end, right?
Of course. Game Pass is the greatest thing.
Yeah, listen, yes. But if you're outside of the Xbox ecosystem, you're looking like, why the fuck would I spend money on that? They promised all this shit. They didn't deliver. The competition delivered. You know, they promised VR. And then they canceled it. They said, nah, we're not going to do this. Fucking Sony ended up doing it. They promised ray tracing and all this VR. Shit. They didn't do it. Sony did that, right? They promised this and this and that. They didn't do it. Sony did. So I think people, if you're outside of the Xbox ecosystem, now you guys can understand why everybody is selecting PlayStation. And then, you know, listen, when we saw those sales numbers.
Let's be honest. PlayStation is whole food, but Xbox is going to be motherfucking Walmart. The quality not as good as Whole Foods, but guess what? The traffic is far more. And that's what Xbox want to be. Let me finish. Xbox want to be the Walmart of games. Absolutely. They don't want to be the whole food. No.
But here's the problem. They want to be the Walmart of gaming, but they're not even the dollar store of gaming, right? They're not. They projected, listen, they should have been at 50, 60 million Game Pass subscribers by now. Satya, Phil Spencer, Satya and Phil Spencer haven't been getting bonus because they've been missing their projections for the last 5 years. So when you look at the console sales, they're only at 20. They're only at 20 million consoles sold, whereas Sony is almost at fucking 50, right?
But guess what?
Listen here. Hold on. No, this last little piece and I'll shut up. And so here's the thing. While people are waiting and thinking that Microsoft is suddenly going to do something that's just going to make it come back, they're exiting the fucking console business. They're exiting out of their hardware. And you either you acknowledge that or you're in denial about it. Freddie Wayne can probably back me up on this. Just let me what it is.
Let me rebut you. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let me rebut you. Microsoft is going to be doing the most devious piece of shit. And I'm willing to bet anybody on this panel $200 or $300 that Call of Duty and every game from Activision Blizzard will be tied into Game Pass. If you want those games, you're going to have to get Game Pass. Game Pass is coming to PlayStation.
And that's
Game Pass is coming to PlayStation. If you want
I don't know about that.
Why not? Why is it? What kind of stipulation?
No. Stupid, he's right. Stupies is right. And I'm going to tell you why he's right. I've been saying this for years, Stupies. I'm on. Hold on. I'm with you with this, Stupies. I've said this. The only reason Nintendo and Sony has said no to Game Pass is because Microsoft compete.
It's still in the hardware business. Yep.
Sony and Nintendo actually makes money on the hardware. Microsoft doesn't. So the second Microsoft says we're no longer going to be in the console space.
No, they're not going to say that. They're not going to say that. No,
yes,
they're not. All right, let me finish. They're not going to say that. No, for the next at least 5 to 10 years. No. For the next 5 to 10 years.
Sooner than that, brother.
Let me finish. Game Pass is going to fuck up the business model because Xbox Live is going to be free and it's going to be Game Pass. Once you have Game Pass, you can play the game on the Xbox Live network. You don't need Sony PlayStation Network to play Game Pass. Game Pass is going on everything. And if you want the games, you're going to have to take Game Pass. There's no stipulation. USA didn't put any stipulation onto the Activision deal. Brazil didn't put any. China didn't put any. England put some. But guess what? England is backtracking all the way because the market doesn't matter. It's either you join Microsoft or you get left behind. Game Pass is coming.
Stupies, you're right to a certain extent, but here's why you're wrong. Right now, right? Game Pass is available to over 3 billion gamers. These motherfuckers can't even get 30 million subscribers. And the majority of the 28 to 20 million Game Pass subscribers that they have are on PC. Remember, it came out in a court case that Game Pass on PC is 15 million Game Pass subscribers. Right now, Microsoft has 28 million Game Pass subscribers. So that means there's more people on PC on Game Pass than console. So that means the console is going away because a lot of people are they're not fucking gaming on console. The Xbox console is just, it has not sold well this generation.
That is true, but guess what?
You're saying the PC people love Game Pass more than the console player.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, there is more PC Game Pass than console. That's what I'm saying. That threshold, that pendulum has swung over to the PC side. That's why Microsoft is focused more on PC and mobile and TVs than it is console. When the last time?
That's why the newest deal is on PC. The newest $1 deal is on PC.
Well, and the best version of every game is the PC one.
Every single video card that you buy, or CPU that you buy, or case that you buy, or memory that you buy, comes with Game Pass.
You're getting Starfield. You're getting Starfield
on the AMD GPU. That's true.
Yes.
Because
and the 7,000 TPUs too. All of them, the whole line. Down to the 7,600.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, right? The Xbox console is going away. It's niche.
This is what's going to say.
Like the
That's you know why? Because there are more people on the TVs than the console. Just the sheer amount of TVs there are.
Eventually.
How much generation of PlayStation? Jaydub, be honest. How much generation of PlayStation you think we're in? You think we have 3 more generations of PlayStation, or we have 2 more generations of PlayStation? Before streaming becomes more viable, before other devices becomes more powerful, because what they're doing now, when you're packing on all of these bullshit on gaming, if 20 years ago when I started gaming,
we're already in that world though.
Never finished. 20 years ago when I started gaming, my phone is 100 times more powerful than a Super NES. Everybody's phone here is 100 times more powerful than an NES.
Yeah, but mobile gamers are console gamers.
Stop talking. Let me finish. I'm not talking about mobile gaming. I am talking about what gaming is. Gaming is video game is just a bag of bloatware now. There's no reason why a game has to be 100 gigabytes. Because last generation games, Xbox and PlayStation 3 games were 4 and 5 gigabytes. Now these games are 100 gigabytes. Is the game 20? Stop.
There's a reason why they're 100 gigabyte though. That's because of the graphics being 4K. It costs more.
No.
It's more size. Think about it.
Let me finish. Are these games 50 times better looking than the best looking game on 360 or PlayStation 3? Are these games 50 times more better looking than what's a game what came out on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4? They're not. It's not subjective. They're not.
Only the PlayStation games are better.
Yeah, they're not. They're not 50 times better looking. Even the PlayStation
game 3 compared to the new ones.
That's because
not the Xbox game. The beginning of last generation, the first 2 years, the games were amazing looking. Last generation.
And what was this thing?
Listen,
your iPhone is almost as powerful as a PlayStation.
Here's the thing, Stu Peace. Here's the thing. Even though your phone is powerful, right?
Uncharted 4.
Tell me this, Stu Peace. When the last time you played?
It was some gorgeous games.
Hold on, Freddie Wayne. Stu Peace, tell me this. I know your phone is powerful. When the last time you played Xbox games on your phone, sir?
Oh, no, shit. I don't. But guess what? No, but guess
what? You see what I'm saying? Well, hold on. Wait. No, Stu Peace. You just answered my question. Let me tell you what you're doing. Let me tell you what you're doing. You're taking something that you don't even do, and you're saying there's millions of people out there want to do something that not even myself as an Xbox gamer want to do. That's what you're doing.
That's not what I'm saying. No. That's
now with this.
No.
You want to give access.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have.
That's not what I'm saying.
We're gonna feed the world. We're gonna end world hunger.
Gamers. Hold on. Right now, there's 3 billion gamers that have access to Game Pass. Really cheap. They can play it on the phone. They can play it on the TV. They can play it on the console. They can play it on the cloud. They can play it on the web browser. They can play it on whatever. Right? 3 billion people have access.
This is hold on. No.
You can't even get 30 million people to want to try this shit. So what makes you think like what's going on?
No. I am looking into the future. Let's look into the future together. Okay. Look at the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
When a person plays the Nintendo Switch on the TV, it's a dock. The Nintendo Switch is a dock. What I'm saying is that in the future, your phone will become like the Nintendo Switch. It's going to be a dock.
But it's already like that.
Stu Peace. We have that capability right now, right? You can plug your phone into your TV and use your Xbox controller and play. I can do the same thing with my phone in the PlayStation app, right?
Yeah, with Android and Mac, iOS too.
I have a ROG Ally. I have a Steam Deck. I have my iPhone.
Yeah, we're already in that world.
The Logitech G Cloud. I have all of these things that will allow me to do that. But guess what?
Why did you buy the rule?
I don't want to play it that way.
Why did you buy the rule? Why did you buy the rule?
Option.
He bought it because he
could. All right. Okay.
No, I bought the ROG Ally. I bought the ROG Ally to play my PC game so I don't have to lug my laptop when I travel, right? Because I'm always traveling, international, everywhere, right? So that's why I bought my Steam Deck and my ROG Ally.
And because you buy everything.
Yes. And because I buy everything, right? But one thing I don't do, right? I don't fucking whip my iPhone out and I don't fucking try to play my Xbox and PlayStation games on there because that's not the optimal way I want to play. Now, again, I just made the case on you saying in the future, 5-10 years from now, gamers are going to want to play this way. But I'm telling you now in the here and now, because I remember last generation, people were saying the same thing with xCloud. Oh, this is going to be the future. Here we are, a whole nother generation later. Because think about it, xCloud has been a thing for going on fucking 10 years. right? Didn't xCloud start in like 2015, 2014, 2016, right? It's been a long time since they've been working on this shit. So that was 10 years ago. Here we are saying, well, let's give it another 10 years. At what point do we say, you know what? Motherfuckers just really don't want to play console games that way. People that got a cell phone, they want to play cell phone games. People that play console, they want to play console games. People that play PC want to play PC games. And none of this shit mixes ever. You will never be able to get my wife who plays Candy Crush to play fucking Uncharted or God of War or Halo. For the same reason, you'll never get me to play fucking Candy Crush. They're two different markets, but these executives try to sell you on this dream. When they're in the boardroom, they're trying to sell you on a future where everyone just plays everything, and then everything is just everybody's so happy. Stoopies, you would not be a happy man if the only games you had to play was fucking Candy Crush on your cell phone. You would not be a happy man. You will find a different hobby. So can we just admit there's this invisible amount of people that's out there that these people are saying we're going to target the future of gamers, but the future of the gamers are the past gamers. Nintendo has outstood all of these motherfuckers in the test of history since gaming started.
That's multidimensional.
Console.
You just took it around.
Nintendo found a way to make it where it's a console and a handheld. So even better for them. Sony's found a way to create a fucking handheld to say, shit, if you want a handheld experience when you're in the house or you're on the go, fucking if you want the option, here you go. They found a way to do that. Microsoft said, fuck it, we don't even care where you want to play. Matter of fact, we want you to play on PC. We want you to play on your TV. We want you to play on your web browser. We want you to play on your cell phone. Any place else but the goddamn console, because we want that shit to go away because we make no money on it.
Okay, question to you. This is a simple question. Yes. As we look at the age demographic, the youngest player, what system can they be found on?
The youngest players, PlayStation. I got three boys, right? My son, my oldest is 13. The next is 10, and then the next one under him is 7 years old. Listen. Let me tell you the demographics. Hold on, let me tell you the demographics in my house. I got about 5 PlayStation 5s in my house. I have 2 Xbox Series X's, and my kids have an Xbox Series S in their room. Right? When they boot up their Xbox Series S, they're playing Roblox, right?
Yeah, Roblox.
Other than that,
for kids.
That's pretty much all they.
Do they have a Switch? Do they have a Switch?
Yes, they have a Switch. They use their Switch for Minecraft.
No, I'm asking you this. When we look at it in your house, or in general, what the youngest player plays now? The majority of younger player play
my
on
youngest
the Switch.
Listen, my youngest majority of the time he's on the PlayStation 5. You know what games he play? He plays fucking Spider-Mans. Even after I beat the game, I delete the game, he re-downloads them, and every time I go in, he's still playing the same fucking Spider-Man games. Right?
Yeah, because he's in love with Spider-Man. But the majority
I'm only telling you from my household, right? I know
but if we look at statistics, bring up the statistics. The majority of kids play on the Switch.
When he's playing on his Switch, he's playing Minecraft.
Yeah, but that's your family, but the majority of families, because you operate, you're in business, and I know that you work with numbers. So you're trying to circumvent the thing. But if we look at it globally, the Switch has the youngest demographics of video game players. There's no question about it.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Right? I know. Yes. So how they are playing and how they play is how the future is going to play.
So, you proving my point. You proving my point, Stoopies. The future kids want to play on Nintendo. They're not playing on an Xbox console or an Xbox ecosystem. They're not playing on the.
I'm not saying that they're playing on the Xbox. They're playing on an ecosystem.
But they don't stay kids forever either.
No, they're playing on. They're playing in Nintendo's ecosystem. They're not.
Yeah, but they're playing on an ecosystem which allows them to diverse between handheld and television. That's
okay. Most of us in here started on Nintendo, and then we went to PlayStation and PC and everything else as we got older.
But that's what I'm saying. Where does this fit Xbox or micro? How does this fit anything?
How does this fit Xbox?
Yes.
This fit Xbox. How? Xbox is going to be, as you put it, and I agree with you 100%. Xbox is coming out of console. They're going into apps.
Okay.
And they want to go on systems like
absolutely
right. Nobody can deny that.
Well, I'm glad we agree. No. I'm glad you and I are finally on the same page. We finally ended
there's no problem. I'm not. What I'm saying is that they're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. But that's the plan.
No, I agree with you. I thought we were trying to end up somewhere different, but we ended up in the same place. Microsoft is getting out of the hardware space, but their app, which I believe is Game Pass, which is their future.
Game Pass is their future.
I believe it will end up on PlayStation. It will end up on Nintendo, and I believe that's how they're going to thrive. You and I are on the same page with that. Now, the question I have, Stu Pease,
in the meantime,
you're an old school Xbox guy. You've been gaming for a long time.
All right.
How does that make you feel as being an Xbox gamer since the OG? And then having the Xbox 360 dominate gaming all the way to the point where it's whittled down to a fucking app that's everywhere.
At first, I'll be honest, because I'm honest in all things. I don't lie. I'm a big ass man. But at first, it bothered me. It bothered me at first. Then I realized that, listen, things transition. 10 years ago, when 19 for World Cup 1988, I bought a big ass projection TV, a Sony projection TV. If everybody remember those TV, that TV wasn't cheap. Spend a couple of grand on that TV, and I could not see myself watching games on anything else but a television, a big ass television. You go in the house, you buy some big ass TV, but guess what? No, if I'm not playing video games and I'm watching content, guess what I watch most of my content on?
Yeah.
Monitor.
What? On a phone. Yeah. On a fucking phone.
That's true, but we all do that.
Right? No. So what I'm saying is that as we transition.
Even
when you're at home sometimes and you go upstairs.
Yeah, I never played games.
You spend an hour in the bathroom. Why you spend an hour in the bathroom?
Right now.
Not because you're shitting.
You're right.
It's because you're sitting down in the toilet watching the phone.
No, you're right.
Yeah, but we're not gaming from them. That's the whole point. Like, we use them for other shit, but not that.
Consumption.
What I'm saying is that as an older person who said, I would never, as I transition, you change. You realize that I would never don't mean shit anymore. Right? And it is going to change because we are dinosaurs. Your son and your daughter don't give a shit about brand recognition. They really don't.
I'm going to tell you this.
We'd like to think they do. They don't.
I'm going to tell you this, right? My kids, they have access, right, to gaming PCs, Switch, Xboxes, all this. Listen, I've noticed for quite a long time because I bought them. Each one of them have a Series S in their room, but I got them because it's cheap. But then for two, because Roblox can only be had on Xbox. That's not on PlayStation, and they love to play fucking Roblox. Roblox is fucking huge to kids. I don't get it. You're right. I don't get it, but that's where they want to play. So when they boot their Xbox up, they are playing that. You know what they're not playing? They're not playing the 200 other Game Pass games games that's in Game Pass. They're not playing those.
They're not playing
so since my kids are the future or a dictation of the future, I know Game Pass is a great deal for people, can save money and stuff like that. But if you have 200 games that nobody is fucking playing, they're only playing that one game.
But even your son who plays PlayStation, he plays a lot. Which game he specializes in, as you put it? He specializes in Spider-Man. He's not playing all of that bullshit. These kids nowadays not playing the bullshit that you think that they will play.
let me tell you what else, right? So, and this is my youngest. He's 7 years old. When I catch him in the game room, he's on the PlayStation 5. He's playing Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, one of the games.
He's in VR, right? He's playing a fucking VR game, the Rec Room and other shit that they play. And I did notice he plays Five Nights at Freddy's. That's the security breach game, right? It's kids like they like certain type of games, and so he plays those games. But I did notice it's like I asked the question, why aren't these kids gravitating to the Xbox in all of these games? I pay $15 a month for Game Pass Ultimate, right?
Okay.
Why aren't you playing or downloading all of these hundreds of games to try to see what's new there? It's like, nah, I don't want that. I'm booting up fucking Roblox. So Xbox is a Roblox player for them. The PlayStation for my youngest, I only told you about my youngest. Now, my 10-year-old and my 13-year-old, he's playing COD. He's playing 2K. He's playing, the traditional casual game, the Madden and shit like that, right? The God of War. My 10-year-old, he plays a variety of shit. He really just focuses solely on fucking VR. He's just enthralled with VR. But me on the other hand, I'm an old head,
what's up?
Right? So I'm on the Final Fantasies. I'm on the in the VR, and I'm racing with the Gran Turismo and all the other shit. This is just one household of where people are. But I don't even like my friends' kids. We had this conversation before. I'm like, with Game Pass is a great fucking value. It's a lot of games for the price, but nobody's partaking. Why aren't people partaking?
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Why? Freddie Wayne, can you explain why people aren't? Think about it. $10 a month, $15 a month. You get access to over 300 games, 200 games. Why aren't more people partaking? Especially when it doesn't require that you have an Xbox. It doesn't require that you have. Go ahead.
Let me look. Okay, Exoprimal's coming. I can pre-install it now. Wait, Big Money. Exoprimal, we're about to get that. Let me see.
Me and Big Money, we played it on PlayStation. We get it on PlayStation.
We played it on PlayStation.
Lies of Peas is coming September 18th.
We got that on PlayStation too.
We still got a whole bunch in there. We still got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We still got Atomic Heart. We got all of that now. Y'all don't have that on PlayStation.
No.
You don't have Ghostwire.
No. He's not talking about
on PlayStation. I said we got on PlayStation. I ain't said PlayStation.
Jaydub, let me ask you a question. What's the median amount of games? The mean, the average amount of games that people owned during the PlayStation 3 Xbox era? What's if the total amount of games that were sold over the total amount of consoles? How much games do you think the average person owned over the entire generation?
Well, that generation, Sony sold. They had over 1 billion games sold for its console, for the PlayStation 3.
And they had 140 million consoles sold. You know how much that divides to?
Wait. You said PlayStation. I thought you said PlayStation 3 and 360. You mean
PlayStation
Xbox
3? Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. What's the median amount of games that were sold? The average game owner. You know how much games you own? The average game owner?
I probably.
10.
No. That's
do the math. 10.
No, Stoopies. You can't use that metrics, and I'm gonna tell you why. Right? My son. Right? I'm gonna tell you why.
You cannot use your son.
I'm telling you why you can't use that metrics. You can't use that metrics because most people bought more than one console. For example, the Xbox 360. Everyone had 3 and 4 Xboxes because the console. Listen to me. Because the console failed so much, right? So you can't use that number, and then it's not going to come out properly. But I get what you're saying. What you're trying to say is most gamers don't buy a lot of games. But I will listen. That's true for Xbox, but that's not true for, hold on, listen. That's not true for PlayStation. I'm gonna tell you why. Because last generation,
PlayStation 4,
PlayStation 4, there was more games sold on PlayStation 4 than all the generations combined ever.
Yes, what I'm saying.
So
listen to what I'm asking. You're changing the argument again.
No, I'm just using your same argument. There was more games on PlayStation 4 purchased by gamers than all the previous generations combined, all the way back to generation number 1.
Combined.
Just on that one console, not 2 and 3 consoles, just on that one. That means...
I'm saying here. No, so last generation, because you're bringing up something now. We're jamming. Yeah. We're jamming. Right? We're jamming. We'll be like jamming too. Right. We're jamming. We're talking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, if we're being honest, even if you divide it by, it's the last generation, 100 million PlayStation 5 were sold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That did not sell 2 billion pieces of software. That did get up.
They did. Stupid. I'm going to give you the number right now.
Did not. Give me the number.
Hold on. I'll give you the exact numbers. PlayStation 4.
The attachment rate for the PlayStation 4 was insane. Insane.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was
insane.
It was
million plus.
We're talking every piece of software because I'm honest. I'm not lying. What my honesty is that gamers, you have hardcore gamers.
Wait,
and the majority of
Stupid. I got the article right now. It's back from 2021. It says PlayStation 4 has sold more games than any other console in history combined. That includes the PlayStation 2, which had over 150 million. They sold over 2 billion games just for PS4. That's how many people bought. That's how many people.
Where got the information? This was 2 billion pieces of software.
I got it. It's on Gamer Rant right now. Gamer Rant.
The article. The article said PlayStation 5 sold 2 billion pieces.
No. PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4.
He's still talking about 4.
PlayStation
2 billion rupees.
2 billion pieces.
Yes, over 2 billion games. That's over pieces of software that people pay $50, $60 for.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so they said work it out 20 games. Well, like drastically increased over PlayStation.
In PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, all of them combined. That was more than all of them combined in history. Stupid. This is
I'm not saying that you're lying. No, I believe you.
This is why Phil Spencer, Stupid. This is why Phil Spencer said that they lost the worst generation ever to lose. That was the generation they had to win, and they lost it. And they didn't. They lost it by such a huge margin because that means over 2 billion games move forward with you. That means most people that buy PS5, they don't have to, right? If you're a new gamer, or if you're an old gamer and if you don't really want to spend a lot of money on games, you sign up for PlayStation Plus. Even if you don't want to, you still have all your games from last generation that can move over with you. That's why Phil Spencer said they lost. That's why he said they would never be able to catch up with Nintendo.
Stop.
That's a good point.
No, let me finish. Let me finish. According to Reddit, the attachment rate of PlayStation 4 is 9.6 games per console.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I said that from day one. The average person over the lifetime of any console, most people own, if you work it out, 10 games. That means that the hardcore who own 50 or 100 games per, they deduct from the softcore. Most people
it's about 40 plus for me.
But
you're hardcore. Most people, most casuals, over the lifetime of the console, plays 3 or 4 games, 5 games. Most hardcore.
But Stoopies, you know why? Stoopies? Let me tell you why. Because we have games like
Games as a
Fortnite.
service.
We have all these games of service where, right, for example, people that play Madden, they only play Madden. People that play 2K, they only play 2K. People that play COD, they only play COD. So guess what? If this generation lasts for 7 years, that means one person that has a PS5 or Xbox will only have ever bought 7 games. That's how you're looking at it.
That's games and the shooters. That's it.
Yes, that's not a proper way of viewing games. The proper way of viewing.
What I am saying is that was
the proper way of viewing games, Stupies, is that how many people saw fit to go out and spend $3.99 or $4.99 on a piece of hardware, and then go out and buy games or pay for a service for this, online service, or spend money buying games that's attached to this. So you can say they only bought 10 games, but that's 140 million motherfuckers that did that. That is astronomical. Never in history ever been done before, Soupies. You can guess what? That is not Xbox people. That's PlayStation people. So you're not making a good case for Xbox at all.
I don't think he was trying to.
No, I know he's not. I know he's not.
I am saying that gaming as we know it, the hardcore is the one to propel the mass amount of games. Most people not buying that.
We know that.
Yes and no, right? Yes and no. A person like me, right? Every new PlayStation game
you have 100 games. You have 100 games.
Listen,
right, but we're just using 100 as a number.
That's true. But let's say the person that only has 50 games.
That game costs. You're a parent and a gamer. You do double duties. So
absolutely.
Listen, a lot more than the average person.
And then the fact that I play on multiple consoles and multiple avenues, right? I play on the Switch. Yeah. I play on my PC.
PC.
Play on the Xbox. I play on everything, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
You're an exception to the rule.
True. But the reason I reject Stu Pease's example is because he's not taking into account, let's say a PC gamer. PC gamer goes out and spends $2,000 on the PC. 6 months later, he spends $2,000 for a video card. A year later, he upgrades his video card another $1,500. Another 6 months after that, he upgrades his memory, his CPU,
and memory.
He's spending tens of thousands of dollars on that, and nobody ever and nobody ever questions the fact that he only plays fucking Final Fantasy 14, or he only plays fucking Dota or World of Warcraft or some bullshit like that, right? Nobody ever questions the PC gamers.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
He's the exception to the rule. I'm not saying that PlayStation didn't win. I agree with that. I'm an Xbox dude. I agree with that. What I'm saying to you is that there's going to be a paradigm shift, because although we love gaming and we love our console, it is not sustainable, because the console can never.
That's because Sony is putting together a PC now.
Let me finish. Graphically, when I started playing games,
Lord of mercy,
my console was more powerful than my PC, meaning the games look better on the console.
You're right.
Right? But now, in the last 3 to 4, 5 years, 10 years, we can go back. Consoles have surpassed, PC have surpassed consoles where it will never catch up.
Wrong.
Because
okay, I'm gonna disagree. Wrong. I'm gonna tell you why, Stupies.
Right.
I'm gonna disagree with you, and I'm gonna tell you this. As a PC gamer, no, listen. As a PC gamer with a 4090 and in the top shit, right?
That 4090 is the shit.
Think about it. My PlayStation and my Xbox only cost me $399, $499.
Yeah.
And guess what? No, listen. I'm gaming in 4K. Generally, I'm gaming in 60. Well, at least on PlayStation. I can't speak for Xbox, but right. Listen, on my PlayStation, I'm gaming in 60 frames. My shooters, I'm gaming in 120. My races, I'm gaming in VR. All of the stuff that need to be.
A dagger just stab us inside.
Now, here's the thing. When you take a game, and I'll take a port, right? A port. a port of a console game, and you put it on PC, it's not a night and day difference like people would want you to think. People will want you to think that it's a night and day difference, and it's not. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not. It's all cap. And this comes from a motherfucker with a high end PC. I'm gonna tell you, it's all cap. The mere fact that, and I've screamed about this a lot. The fact that the amount of money I spent just on my graphics card, the payoff sucks.
I've been there.
ass.
Yeah.
When I spent $2,000 on my fucking 4090 and I play fucking Diablo 4 on my fucking PlayStation or my Series X, I do not see $1,500 worth of fucking improvements. I don't. It's a lie. It's a farce. It's a farce.
I have to stop here. You didn't.
No. Listen. You can say what you want.
All your drivers, you're supposed to tweak some stuff to get the best.
Saying there's not a dramatic difference.
Listen, when you spend $2,000 just for a graphics card, not for a PC, just for a fucking graphics card, that should be no fucking compromise. When I spend, listen, when I bought my Xbox Series S, when I bought my PS5, when I bought my Xbox Series X for $399, $299, and $499, I expect some compromise compared to a fucking $4,000 or $5,000 PC if you include the $2,000 graphics. I expect some compromise. I do not fucking expect to change any settings or lower anything on my PC.
Give me a chance to rebut you because you're a gamer and you just expose yourself as a gamer. You see, when you're a gamer, especially a PC gamer, why I came out to the PC market, as a PC gamer, the biggest irk that happens to me is when I can't turn on that button Ultra. If I am playing a video game, and I cannot turn Ultra on everything, I am mad as shit. I cannot play that game.
Yes, because of the amount of the amount of money you pay for it, you shouldn't have to turn anything down from Ultra, right? Right. But when you're playing on the Xbox Series S that costs you $199, it doesn't matter.
No, let me finish. But as a hardcore gamer, you might deny this. You might want to deny this. But as a hardcore gamer, when you look at the PlayStation, and you say, this look good. This look good.
Yes.
But how would it look if they made this for the 4090? That comes in your mind, and you cannot tell me no. Never crossed.
You're right. You're right. But you know what, Stoopies? Let me tell you. Hold on. You're right. Let me tell you. Let me tell you this though. Let me tell you why that doesn't matter.
It matters.
I'm explaining to you. You're gonna agree with me. You're gonna agree with me. I got a 4090. Before the 4090, I bought the 3090 Ti. Before the 3090 Ti, I had the 2080 Ti and SLI. Before that, I had a 1080 Ti and SLI. Before that, it was the 590, right? And so on and so on. And guess what? Even to going way back then, I've still been saying, I'm not seeing the amount of money that I've spent. I'm not seeing that worth on my screen. I'm not. And so here's the thing. When you see a game like Horizon Forbidden West, right? Or Horizon Burning Shores, and you see companies like Digital Foundry say, this is the best graphics that can be had on console or PC. When you see them motherfuckers say shit like that, you go back and say, I wonder how this game would run on my 4090. But guess what? It's unfortunate. Going all the way back to my 5090, right? Way back in the day. We've never had a game that was made specifically for a 4090 or a 3090 Ti or a 20. There's not one single game that's made specifically for a graphics card. So that never run across my mind because I know we will never get a game that'll be able to fucking take full advantage. That's the downside of PC gaming. You're never going to get a game that's built for it. But on console, you're able to spend $3.99 and get a game that looks better than anything that can be had on fucking PC or a console. And this is why console gaming, to me, is the premier experience for the cost. There's a cost analysis. There's a cost to performance ratio.
The ROI, the return on investment, is greatest on console. You cannot get a greater return.
Yes. Listen, Stuppies. Let me tell you. Hold on, Stuppies. Give me 2 seconds, right? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my car collection I have, right? I'm a car collector. Yes, my vehicles in real life. I've always been a car collector. I have classic cars. I have Italian supercars.
If you don't have an M3,
I have a super truck.
You have an M3? You have a BMW entry?
My everyday entry would.
Entry. BMW entry. Do you have that? That's the best return.
M3. No. I had one long time ago. I had an M3 a long time ago.
As a car, that's the best return on investment. For what a car is, handling, driving power, an M3 is the best return on investment.
Jay, I want to hear about your car collection. Go.
Okay. So. By the way, Soupies, I like BMWs. I don't love it, but I love it. And I had a M3 back in the day, and yes, I like it. I really like it. I just don't like that it was in the shop more than on the road.
Time. That's exactly. That's right. German cars where you go ahead.
So my everyday car, right? My everyday driver is a 1999 Ford SVT Lightning, and back in the day in '99, it was the world's. Yes, it was the world's fastest pickup truck when I was in high school in '99. So I said one day when I was able to afford it, I would buy that. And one day I was able to afford it, and I bought it, and it's in my collection right now.
What about that,
my everyday, I'm getting there. I'm trying to bring you up, right? And so I have a 1968 Pontiac Firebird. You guys probably it's red. You guys have probably seen me posted on Twitter.
You ever smoked at the bandit? Is it a smoke and a bandit?
Yeah, it's not a bandit. The bandit version is the 70 era. This is a 68.
Yeah.
So this was the second year.
The bandit version is terrible.
Yeah, the bandit is the 70 is the 70 era.
It still look good. Everybody wanted one. Go ahead.
Yes, but yeah, still a Firebird, right? But that was the Trans Am. I got the Firebird. Classic muscle car. Love it. It's a 400. Of course, a V8, 6.6 liter, beautiful. Next is another one of my everyday drivers is a Ford Raptor F-150 pickup truck. Love it. Can't beat it. Twin turbo. It's a 2020. So next. I have a.
You getting wet over there, man? Was you all right?
I am. Yeah, shut up. Let me enjoy this. Go ahead.
Man.
So continue.
I also have a Mercedes CLS AMG, right? 63. That's
I love the CLS.
That's another.
I drove one. I drove one once. Didn't like it, but it's a beautiful car.
That's another daily beater, right? I put a lot of miles on it when I'm traveling back and forth, right? What else I have? I have a Dodge Hellcat, right? A Challenger. You guys have probably seen it. It's kind of like you guys remember Dukes of Hazzard back in the day? So it's that Hazard orange. Carbon fiber spoiler, carbon fiber hood.
Same color, orange.
Yeah, General. And I'm from Texas, right? So I'm from down south. So it kind of fits the whole.
We all love General Lee.
Yeah. Another daily driver. Now my Italian cars. Yeah. Now my Italian babies, right, which are my collectors, is a all black carbon fiber Ferrari F99. So I've posted it. Yeah, you guys have seen it on Twitter as well.
What year is this,
dude?
This here's a 2005.
This dude is
shit. Again, a collector.
Wait.
And
you showing pictures?
That can't be a daily driver. No,
not a daily driver. It's collector. Collector. Less than 10,000 miles on it. And
wait, did you say you got a 599?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's a sexy one.
Yeah, it's the black carbon. So, and then I think you guys have kind of seen it already. You guys have seen it on Twitter and it started up. But the Lamborghini Aventador, 2007. It's the big Brahma Bull, the V12. It's all right. So
you must move a lot of weight.
These are just like I said, I'm a collector. So I run across stuff. I like it. I gotta have it. So these are my taste in the different types of things. So it's varied, right? I got my American muscle, I got my European, right? And I got my my Italian, which is what is Italian, right? Then I got motorcycle collections. Everybody's seen me riding on my Ducati. Got a couple of Ducati bikes. Collectors, but still.
Real quick. Somebody on.
If you guys ever come to Texas, we got a couple of people on Twitter.
Shout Big Stout. He's watching.
I'm definitely gonna visit.
Big Stout, my brother, Big Stout.
Yeah, and somebody's watching on Kick. I totally forgot. I am streaming on there. I just didn't change the channel. I didn't change the title, so.
I'm going to take it off. I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
What happened to Z, man? What happened to Z?
He's on hiatus.
He's been dealing with stuff with his grandmother and stuff like that. So I told him take as much time he needs, man.
Yesterday said he was gonna be on today.
Yeah. Well, you know how that be, man. Some days she up, some days she down, and
Yeah.
But keep him in your prayers, man. We're gonna hold it down to Big Damu get back. But I said that about my collection is right. It's kind of like my video game collection. Stoopies, you still there?
Yeah, but what you're telling me that you're the 1%. You're the 1% of video game collectors.
No. I don't, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I'm the 1% of video games.
Yeah, you are
an average guy, and I'm gonna tell you why. The average person has a PlayStation 5, a Switch, and an Xbox. Stoopies, how am I different from you, brother? Don't you have a PS5?
No.
Don't you have a Switch? Don't you have Xbox?
I had a PS5, right, but I don't have a Switch. I only have Xbox now. But this is why I said that to you. The average person don't have a 4090. And the average person cannot afford to buy a game every time it releases. These dudes, let me finish. These dudes on the panel might be hyping up. But if you ask most of them, 6 of them, how many of them get the games day one? These dudes on the panel, some of them cannot, so they get the game day one. But you said you get most of your games day one.
A lot of people around here do.
Let me finish talking. Let me finish talking.
Stoopies, I'm pretty much. I'm not like where Jaydub is at, but I have a Xbox. I have a PlayStation.
I have a
Nintendo Switch.
You don't realize, right?
Everybody in this room is a 1%.
Gaming, no. Listen, Stoopies. One thing about gaming, and I think you guys don't realize, we like to look at little Timmy and the starving guy, the starving kid in Somalia or some village somewhere. That is very minute compared to gaming in general. But gaming is the only hobby. Gaming is the only hobby that actually increased with COVID and with the economic collapse. People have money to spend, right? That is just what it is. Gaming is recession proof. And
that's not true.
And it proved it. It proved it last generation.
Steam can identify the video cards that PC players play with.
Yes.
What is the average video card that a PC player play with? All they're talking about there.
I think it was a 1060. 1060.
At 1060.
Yes.
At 1060 is worse than a PlayStation or Xbox.
Oh no, you right. But Stoopies, you're only taking one part into a factory. That 1060 video card, let's say it costs $150, right?
Right.
How much did that CPU cost? How much did that memory cost? How much did that motherboard cost? How much did that monitor monitor to go with it? Right? It's the package.
Monitors.
So that computer, along with the monitor, along with the graphics card and everything together, costs about $2,000. So you're telling me that there's poor people that can't afford a $299 Xbox Series? I mean, a $249
no.
Xbox Series S. They can afford a $2,000 PC with bells and whistles.
Most PCs, most of those dudes who gaming. Most of those dudes who, most dudes who shouting out graphics. Yes. My PC, they're never
frauds. They're frauds. No, you're right. You're right. The most PC guys will brag about a 4090 that they don't own because you know why? They have to protect their investment. They feel like, listen, and I'll be honest. If I go racing, if I'm at a red light, right? I'm in a Ferrari, I'm in a Lambo, and a Honda Civic pull up next to me, and it wants to race, and if I lose that race, I'm gonna feel very embarrassed because I've spent $400,000+ on just one car. And why is this $400,000 vehicle getting spanked by a $15,000 vehicle? So that's why PC guys lie and tell you got a game on PC because it looks so much better than console. It looks so much. It doesn't. You may be able to tweak the settings to get higher frames or be able to turn off some stuff, but that's part of compromise. And if you gaming on PC, at least that's how I figure. If I'm gaming on PC, why the fuck should I compromise? I might as well go back on console where I know the settings are already set for me, where I'm just gonna play it.
That's why I left PC. I left PC because I couldn't chase the Ultra.
You couldn't afford it.
No, I couldn't chase the Ultra. I couldn't bother with it. I couldn't bother with every year, even every 6 months. It was at a point where
it's because iPhone people keep upgrading their iPhone every year.
Let me finish speaking. I couldn't bother with chasing the drug. PC game is like a crack addiction. You're chasing this thing because I chase the Ultra. If it's not Ultra, I don't feel good.
It used to be crack,
right? So and it costs like a crack addiction to be chasing the Ultra. New memory come out. Oh, this memory is 33 megahertz faster. Let me get this new memory. Oh, this hard drive spins a little faster. Let me get this new hard drive. This video card is a little bit better. It's a little bit better. It has more memory. Let me get this video card because I was chasing the Ultra.
But here's the thing: you're chasing something, right? For example, my PC. Maxed it out with everything, and then I play it, and then it's like this feels no better, and it looks no better than the 3090 that I had or the 2080 Ti that I had. Right? It's the need that if I spend the money, my enjoyment or the visuals or the gameplay is going to be that much better, and that PC gaming doesn't work that way. Because they don't make games specifically for a graphics card. Now, I hope to God in the future, some kind of way, some company says, listen, we're going to take a loss, but we're going to build this game from scratch specifically for the 5090, right? And guess what? It'll probably never happen. And guess what? These companies are going to continue to finesse us.
Check.
Because it's a finesse.
It's the promise of the future. Yeah. They sold you. Yeah. They sold you on ray tracing is the future. It's going to be the next best thing. So everybody goes out and buy a 30 series card for ray tracing. Then you realize, it's not all it's cracked up to be because it lowers the performance. And then you realize, fucking, I can have ray trace on the console. Sure, it may not be as clear or high resolution as the PC, but fuck, I only spent $399 for it, and this game can't be had on PC, right? So
I remember DirectX when DirectX just came out. Not DirectX when it was the original DirectX.
Yes,
and
yes.
You said yes, DirectX
for the Pentium back in the Pentium days.
Yeah, this is going to the magic. And then I remember when DirectX had on. I remember going into DirectX. We could go into DirectX itself and mod DirectX. We used to play around with DirectX. It was just plug and play. We went into the software itself to suck more power out of the PC. When DirectX 9 came, a 9A, a 9B, then 10. I would go into the software itself. I remember we used to strip down games itself, go into the game software itself and strip down games, take out what is not necessary in order for that bitch to run like you think it should run.
Yeah.
So when people tell him about gaming now, and I said, what you know about gaming? What you know about playing LAN, packing up your PC to play Ghost Recon LAN.
Yeah.
And try to squeeze the last juice out of that bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you have the upper hand.
Yeah.
No, when we look at console gaming is fun enough. But I like with console gaming, it's lazy. You don't
it's
have to
convenient.
do all the shit
It is. There's a lot of
you
convenience.
You don't have to do all the shit. You put in the thing, you get where you get.
But Stoopies, here's one thing about console, right? For one, the price, and then for two, the gap between the PC and these console, when it comes to like graphics, when it comes to performance, it's in line with what you said with the gamer, the average PC gamer that has the fucking 1060. These consoles are running circles around that. So we have instant loading, we have SSD, we have ray tracing, we have 120 frames, we have 60 frame options, we have VRS, VRR, we have ALLM, we have all of this shit that used to be touted for PC only, right? We have all of that for $399. Just get your PS5 and play the best looking games ever, right? The God of Wars, the Last of Us, the Horizons. Even playing VR, right? They said PlayStation 5 has VR too. The best VR.
Gears 5, you don't mention Gears 5, and Gears 5 is a good looking game.
Well, yeah, no. Gears 5 has Xbox game. Yes, still. That is the best looking game Xbox has ever made. I agree.
No. And I'll tell you this. Honestly, why I started thinking about just coming out of it, I got involved with Forza.
Yeah.
And when I got involved with Forza, it wasn't enough to play on the controller anymore. So I started out with a Logitech. Wheel.
I had to get a steering wheel.
And then the Logitech wheel, this don't feel right. Then I went and I got a Trustmaster. And the first Trustmaster I got didn't feel right. And then I said, all right, let me get the upper level Trustmaster. And I can't.
Yeah.
But the amount of money and a racing rig is almost like you could buy a used car. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? When you bought the chair, the seat, the Trustmaster, then you buy the seat, and you say,
whatever happened to the side tag?
This seat, you need to get the bumpers for the seat, the rumbles for the seat.
Yeah.
Gaming is an expensive hobby, but the average person, when they game it, remember when I sold my Logitech steering wheel, I sold it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And when the dude and his mom came to buy it, and you look at them and you realize that this bitch making a sacrifice.
Absolutely.
I said, is it for him? And she said yes. And I said, are you going to use it? And he said yes. And I said, do you have a stand? And he said no. And I just went inside and get the stand for it, because it's totally different from the stand.
Yeah.
And I said, you can have it. And his mother said, what about the money? I said, no, he can't have it. Because he could see the struggle.
Yeah.
That he wanted it. That was a $400 steering wheel, a $200 stand. The gear stick was like $100, and he just gave it away.
Well, not to cut you off, but I had a similar thing.
You're a nice guy.
When I was a kid, right? Living in Dallas, Texas, and stuff like that. And me and my mom, we'd catch the bus, going different places and stuff like that. We didn't have a car at the time and stuff. And we used to go to these thrift stores. And we went to this one thrift store. I went there with my mom. And they had this old Atari 2600. And at the time, I didn't have a console because couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
But this console was in this bag, right? It was in this bag. And it had a price tag, $20. And when I was a little kid, right, I'm going to be honest, there is nothing more in the world that I wanted. But listen, this is even after the Nintendo the NES was out. The regular Nintendo was out, right? So this had been some time. But I knew we couldn't afford a Nintendo, but fucking Atari, I'll take any video game system. My friends, I go to school, my friends would tell me about the games and stuff, and I don't have any. So I'll take this. And so my mom, you know, she looked at me, I'm sitting there staring at it, and I'm like, Mom, can I have it? She's like, no, son, you know, can't have it. I don't have the money. So this guy walks up. He sees the look in my face, the pain I have in my face because I really want it. It's like I have tears without crying, right? My eyes watery. And he's like, what's wrong, little man? And I said nothing. He said, you want that there? And I said, I'd like to have it, but I can't. And so he asked the store, he was like, hey, what's the cheapest you can do to this? And they were like, yeah, it's 20, that's the lowest it can go. And I didn't get it. But the feeling that I had in my heart and in my soul at that time of wanting something so bad, even as a kid, of course I wanted a Nintendo. Of course I wanted a TurboGrafx 16, but I knew those were above of what my family, you know, my mom could afford. And so I was willing to accept back in fucking 86, you know, 87, a goddamn Atari 2600, something that had been out for 10 fucking years. I was willing to accept that. I wanted that, and I didn't get it. And it stuck with me, and it pains. I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't pain me anymore, but
and that what drove you to be like the baller you are today?
Yes, that's what that was leading to. It put a chip on my shoulder of saying that whenever I grow up and have kids, I'll make sure that they'll never have to feel the feeling that I had that day. Yeah. Now, I didn't blame my mom, right? I didn't blame my mom because she didn't have it, right? So I can't. You can't squeeze something from nothing, and so I get it. But as a kid, I didn't care. It's something so cheap to me, right? $20 is a lot of money, but it's like when you see all these kids walking around, they're playing their NES and their TurboGrafx, and these consoles cost $200. I only want something that costs $20. And so that kind of put a chip on my shoulder, and I made sure that my kids would never ever.
I have given away. I have given away so much shit because as a child I didn't have anything really. I didn't have anything, and when I started like working and playing video games, and when I'm upgrading a system, and I used to have so much PC parts because back in the day, if it was a PC game, you had 10 hard drives, you had 5 motherboard, you had 6 processor, you had 5 cases, you had all kind of bullshit. And I used to just put them together. And because kids used to come around, after a while, kids come around and they look at you and they're there all day. And kids have a tendency, like, as soon as they come from school, they come by the house because they know that you're gaming. And they're there all day watching you. Hey, so little man, you don't have a game? You have a computer at home? No. And I say, all right, tell your mother to come collect this tomorrow. And just put something together and load it up, because back in the day, we used to thief software with this thing. I used to pay like $10 a month for the service where you could download like pieces of the software, like 10 pieces, and you put it together in a RAW, and so we stole everything. Office, Windows, games, everything. I'm talking before BitTorrent. Wares, W-A-R-Z-E, they used to call it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
Movie wares. All that
right.
shit.
So you see, so software wasn't a problem for me. I used to have everything. All of the software, all of the jailbreak software, every software, everything. And put PC together and give it away, because the average gamer, things better known. People don't understand it better known. Where a child can have a $200 sneakers on. Me growing up, that was an abnormality. Most kids in my block didn't have a $200 sneakers. Didn't have a Jordan. Didn't have a Pony. Anybody know the Pony? Anybody know the Pony sneakers? Those white sneakers with the red triangle?
Oh, Pony.
Yeah, I remember Pony. Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah. Right? They didn't have a Jordan. They had a Pony. Right? When Jordan came out, the first Jordan came out. When Jordan came out first, it was $110 for a Jordan.
Yep.
$110 for a Jordan when Jordan came out. When most sneakers were like $30, $40. Then Nike stepped up the game and start when the Air Max came out. Nike, that was $80. I remember those days. I'm talking those days of video game playing.
Yeah.
Right? And we look at it now.
That was something else I couldn't afford, fucking Jordans.
Because we move, let me think, because we move away from that now. We're now in this era. And a lot of kids, many people here don't live in the same neighborhood they grew up.
Yeah.
They don't live in the same neighborhood they grew up. No. So sometimes when you're outside in the neighborhood that you grew up, you tend to forget what it is like in that neighborhood. But the neighborhood still exists and the struggle still exists.
I never, Stu P's one thing about me, man, I never forget that. I never forget the different places I lived growing up. You know, even today, you know, owning my mom's and dad's house and stuff like that, and you know, still just being over there and every now and then going back, like that never changed me. Like no matter how much money I got or how well I did in life or whatever, gaming was one of those things that still keeps me grounded because it still takes me back to that day where I wanted that Atari, or when I first was able to, my brother first bought a PlayStation 1 and I was able to play it for the summer and all the different consoles that came out. Or when I first graduated college and the Xbox, the original Xbox came out and it was more powerful than my Pentium 2 PC that I had built at home, right? Just knowing that and going through that, this is why I am the way I am and why I don't want Xbox to go the direction that they're going, because I still want that hardware. I still want that console.
Did you modify your Xbox? My Xbox, my
back
OG
in the day,
Xbox.
Yeah.
My OG Xbox is 120 gigahertz.
Yeah,
I changed the hard drive.
Yeah.
It's a 120 gigahertz drive.
Rip all that music, all the bootleg music.
I changed the hard drive. The only problem was that after I changed the hard drive, it got banned.
Yep.
But then we weren't really playing online all that much.
Exactly.
Back those days, right? So and then we had XBML, Xbox Media Center, which is now Xbox Media Center is now, what do you call it? This thing what people have on the
media. Yeah, whatever happened. Like Microsoft used to have Xbox Media Center that everybody used for all their videos, music, everything.
Yeah.
Like Xbox now is it's a shell of its former self. It did so much to push gaming forward and push technology forward, and it was so much pride put in it and so much care taken. It did a lot of first, and now to the point where we are now and seeing it in that position, that's why I'm uber hard on Xbox. Not that I want it to go away. I want them to stop the fuck shit and just bring it back to the old school time of where it was when people cared. And guess what? People took their money and they, people speak with their wallets. People bought a lot of fucking Xbox 360s. They bought a lot of Xboxes. That was the premier gaming. That's where the gamers were. They gave up last generation, and they even gave up even more this generation, and to the point where we all agree the console is fucking going. The Xbox console is going away. I don't want that to happen. It's inevitable, but it's kind of a sad time, somber time for me when it comes to that. I know some people don't care about that, right? They just want Xbox just to they just want Microsoft.
5 years after the Xbox go away, the PlayStation is going away. Consoles are going away.
I don't see that. And the reason why I don't see that is because they're the ones still breaking their records. People are still buying more PlayStations in drove. Like the chart is going upwards, right? Where Xbox is going downwards. Nintendo, the chart is going upwards in the hardware, right? You can't say that the industry is going in a direction that the loser is going in. That never happens, right? Like if your favorite football team loses, never makes it to the Super Bowl, never makes it to the playoffs, you can't say, oh, the whole NFL is going the way of your team. No, that's not how that works. to the victor goes the spoils. And as long as Nintendo and Xbox keeps putting out great games that people are willing to spend money, keep putting out great hardware that people are willing to spend their money, it's going to be there. Xbox is niche. There's only 28 million consoles sold in the wild. Well, yeah.
And guess what?
20, not even 28, 20. There's only 20 million Xbox.
Guess what you're telling me now? You're giving me all the reason why Xbox is going to make Call of Duty exclusive. It's a last effort.
Yes, I agree with you. But here's the problem, right? Majority of COD players are on PlayStation, not Xbox.
Yeah, but they make it exclusive.
Yeah, no, okay, but let's say they make it exclusive, right? Let's say they say, listen, we'll lose all of this money. The majority of money that Call of Duty brings in, we're willing to lose that. We're willing to lose that, right?
Right.
That's not going to make 30 million people go out and buy a fucking Xbox. Think about it. You already said it. Xbox is going away to Notenberg. Why would
that's going to be the last?
Why would somebody go out and spend money on a console that it's dying? No. It's going away, right?
It's not cap. If you are listen, if you are where Xbox is and what they're doing, and you realize the cards that you have, the only alternative you have is a nuclear option. Because whether you do it, you're going out, and whether you do it, and if it's successful, if it's unsuccessful, you're still going out. Right? If it's unsuccessful, you're going out, and if you don't do it, you're still going out. So if you don't do it, you're losing, and if it's unsuccessful, you're going out. You're going to do the nuclear option.
But here's Stoopies. So what you're saying, right? I want you to think as a gamer, not as a money guy or executive or a guy that likes Microsoft. Think as a gamer. You're telling me this company is willing to go scorch earth and burn game and burn. But listen, burn your games that you like. They're willing to burn that shit
to save themselves. Just try and save themselves.
But Stoopies, what do you think about that as a gamer? What do you think about that as a gamer?
I think it's fucked up, but guess what? If you're in business, no. Tell the truth.
That's my point.
No.
That's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
You agree with me?
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but
it doesn't give a fuck about gaming. Is willing to see this motherfucker burn.
Burn, right?
That's crazy.
That's fucked up, Stoopies. You can't support that. You're not supposed to support that.
Do you see them having any other option?
Yes.
What the other option is?
Here's the option.
Make better games, software.
Take that money, invest in your studios that you already have, because you have more studios right now without Blizzard Activision than your competition. You have more studios and publishers than your competition. Why the fuck can't you just put out good games?
That prove that I can't do that.
Okay. Okay. So you just said they proved that they can't do that. So hold on, no, listen. So what you're saying, why the fuck are they in gaming if they can't put out good games and they're not willing to do what it takes to put out good games? Why the fuck, as a gamer, would you even want them in gaming? Why don't Stupid say, you know what, Microsoft, fuck you. You don't have what it takes to. You need to go.
But let's be honest. When I told people from I heard that they were buying Call of Duty, I told people that Call of Duty is going to be exclusive. And they said, no, Call of Duty is not going to be exclusive. The only way Call of Duty could have remained multiplied if Microsoft had a okay generation. They are not having an okay generation. If you are losing, it's not everybody play the game till it finish. Some people, majority of people, if they're losing, guess what they do? They take the ball and they go home. Microsoft is going to take their fucking ball, which is Activision, because guess what? The judge did not put any stipulation on the deal, and Sony didn't sign that 10-year contract. Yeah. That 10-year contract is no longer available to Sony, Sony might say, okay, we want a contract now. And Microsoft is going to say, which contract? What contract you talking about? That was yesterday.
Yeah, but they still want to make money.
It's 2 P's. Here's the thing.
Which money? If you spend $73 million, $76 billion.
But it's 2 P's. Here's the thing, right?
Yeah, you want a return on it.
COD is only one game, right? It's not gaming. It's a big game, but it's not gaming, right? Nintendo has been surviving for over 35 years without Call of Duty. PlayStation can survive without fucking Call of Duty. Wait, listen. Can Xbox survive with Call of Duty? Because here's the thing. You have to get people not only willing to sign up for Game Pass, but potentially buy consoles to play Call of Duty, right? And here's the thing.
I said yes.
Listen, I don't know the answer to that. We will see in the future. I'm going to be honest. I think you know the answer. Because you kind of said it. But Microsoft doesn't give a fuck about gaming. They don't care. They don't want to take their ball and go home like a good guy would, right? They're willing to go scorch earth and say, fuck gamers. We're going to burn this bitch down. Going out, and it is what it is. And guess what? That proves to me that they are the scumbags of gaming that we already knew they were. And that's another reason that they shouldn't be allowed to buy anything else, because they don't have gamers' best interest at heart. Now, I'm not saying that a corporation can't make money, but what I'm saying is you can make money and offer gamers a great experience. And the reason I know is because Nintendo and Sony are thriving doing it. Sony, a company that has a 10th of the amount of money that Microsoft has delivered on their next generation hardware, the next generation games and features, VR, handheld, everything else, movies, everything, gaming movies, gaming TV shows, everything else they're fucking delivering on, right? Microsoft hasn't even delivered on the fucking just the bare minimum of stuff.
Let me say this to everybody who don't understand what I'm saying. Microsoft, when Netflix started, 2 shows made Netflix. You know which 2 shows made Netflix? House of Cards, and Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
Those 2 shows made Netflix. When HBO was struggling, 1 show saved HBO. You know what show that was? The Dragon Show.
Yeah, the House of Dragon.
House of Dragon saved HBO. When Microsoft look at the big picture, they are saying that, listen, COD is the House of Dragon. COD is the Orange is the New Black. Whether we want to believe it or not, COD is still a big game. COD don't have much time left still, because a lot of people disgruntled with COD. But COD is still the big game. Oh. And Microsoft is going to ride COD until it's exhausted.
But Stoopies, didn't they ride Halo until Halo was exhausted?
Yeah.
Didn't they?
That's the wrong horse to...
Stoopies. I'm a gamer.
They need something new.
Remember Halo 3?
It'd be like if they were betting on Sopranos. Like imagine if they...
We're not talking about 20 years ago.
Right.
We're talking about modern times, right? I mean, Atari was the king of the hill back in the day, right? But we don't bring up Atari now. We're talking about modern times. And it's the thing about it. I'm looking at this as a gamer. I can only view this as a gamer. I don't care about the politics and the money and the corporation side of things. Remember, I told you this story about me being a kid and wanting a fucking old ass Atari 2600. That's the eyes I'm viewing this on. I'm not viewing this as fucking Jaydub, the businessman that can fucking buy it. I'm not talking about that. Just as a gamer, this is one of my favorite hobbies. I only care about this particular hobby. So when I see this hobby, something that I get out of this hobby, a company that's willing to run it into the ground. That, and again, I didn't even say this. You said this. It just shows how far some of these gamers have come where they don't.
What would you do to save your business? What would you do? To what extent would you go to save your business?
Stupies.
Be honest.
If I got $3 trillion and I got all these businesses that are successful, clearly Microsoft has been trying gaming for the last 24, 25 years. They failed at it. It's time to sell it off and move on. Right? They don't make money off of it. It's a fucking tax write-off. We heard that from the court case. The Xbox is a fucking tax write-off, right? It's a loss leader. So why play with gamers? This is their hobbies. Why play with them? Why play with their hobby when you're not serious about it? You're not in it for that. Like, why? Get the fuck up out of here. If Sony was doing the same thing, I would be saying the same thing. Get the fuck up out of here if you're trying to destroy gaming. Now, again, as someone who owns Xbox products, Xbox games, to me, it's easy. Just make great games, people will come. Nintendo did it. They failed with the Wii U. You know what they did? They repackaged that shit. They sold it as a Switch. And they released the same fucking games, and it's successful.
Yeah.
Why Microsoft couldn't do that last year?
I'm going to tell you this. I have absolutely no sympathy for Sony have to find a different strategy. One of my favorite consoles was Dreamcast, and Sony sabotaged the Dreamcast. Anybody who's a Sony fan, they prevented EA games from going.
No, they didn't. Sega did that before. Sega did that before Sony even got there. You know that, right?
No. They did.
Yes. Let me tell you. As a game, listen. Hold on.
No.
As a gaming historian, that's a false narrative that was created by the Xbox guys, and with one single video that said that the reason the Dreamcast died was multiple reasons. It started with the Sega Saturn. It started with them being against EA because Sega had its own sports line. It didn't want to compete with EA. It didn't want to have to do that, right? Listen, but you don't understand.
Every game that was published on Sony had to be exclusive at that time.
No, that's not true. That is not true. That is not true. Madden was on PlayStation 1. NBA Live was on PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. EA was able to coexist with Sony's first-party games such as NBA The Show or MLB The Show and the rest of the Sony games. Remember they right? So Sega has Sega Sports.
What baseball game EA made?
Huh?
You said NBA. What basketball game Sony made?
NBA, I think it was Showtime or something. They had their whole lineup. They had a baseball game, football game. Remember NFL Fever? I mean, not NFL Fever, but NBA Game Day, NCAA Game Breaker. They had their own line. They had their own NBA The Show. That was their basketball game. They had their own baseball game, MLB The Show. They had that, and we still had Madden. We still had MLB. Not was it Fever? If MVP baseball, we still had that. Sega was the only one that had the stipulation. They decided to beef with Electronic Arts at the time. Electronic Arts said, "Okay, fuck it. We'll stop supporting your platform." That was on the Sega Saturn. That led to the Dreamcast. So it was not only the downfall of EA, right? I mean, not EA, but the downfall of Sega. But the fact that Sega was so cocky, they didn't want to work with one of the biggest publishers and biggest fucking studios out there, which was EA, right? And so on top of that, You had Sega of Japan and Sega of America beefing amongst each other. Sega of Japan wanted to proceed with the Sega Saturn with full support, development, and marketing. Sega of America wanted to hold off, and they wanted to still make money and have their third-party accessory called the Sega 32X. They wanted to extend the life of the Sega Genesis. So you had two competing, Sega of Japan and Sega of America, doing two different things. And the fact Sega killed themselves by showing up at E3, not telling the retail people, hey, this is coming. They showed up on the stage and say, here's our next generation console. By the way, it'll be available tomorrow. That didn't give the stores like Electronic Boutiques or Funko Land or, its current day, it's Babbage's. It was Babbage's at the time. All of these stores, they didn't give any of the retail stores, Toys R Us, any of them, any enough time to have shelf space, to have marketing and stuff for that. Because when they buy these consoles, they have to market it. They have to sell these stuff. They didn't give them none of that time. They just showed up and said, this is our next generation console. Here's the price. By the way, it's shipping tomorrow. So that basically was a nail in the coffin. So the retailers, they basically boycotted and said, fuck this shit. We're not going to put any spaces up. They can't do this to us. They didn't carry the damn thing in stores. They gave it a small shelf space for the stores that did. And then guess what? Sony showed up and said, fuck it. Here's our console, $199. It'll be there in the fall. That gave them enough time. And guess what? It is what it is. People like to rewrite history. We have this sense of history revisionist. And I'm going to be honest, if there's anything, the biggest benefactor of Sega leaving the console space was Xbox. Xbox was able to fit in the mold because guess what? They already had an operating system they had already been supporting with the Sega Dreamcast. They had already had that, right? They had already had a foot in the door of knowing what was going on in the console space anyway. The only downside and what made it so difficult for Xbox was because Sony had already had the semiconductor partners who made the diodes, the capacitors, the resistors, and the motherboards for the controllers that was of a shrunken size. So that's why we had that original Duke controller for the Xbox One. That's why the controller was so big, because they had to fucking almost make it in-house. They didn't have, they couldn't get enough components from the Japanese makers that made all the parts to shrink the controller. It took about a year after the Xbox One, the OG Xbox launch. It took about a year for them to be able to get small enough components to give you a smaller controller. That's when we came out with the smaller controller. Other than that, we had that big ass Duke controller that was basically made in house. So I'm not going to sit here and let, not you personally, but I'm not going to let a community, Xbox community, rewrite history and try to have these revisionists like Sony put Sega out of business. No, it wasn't. Sony came in at a point in time where it was Nintendo, it was Sega. You had other people getting into the game. You had Neo Geo at the time, right? You had 3DO at the time. You had a bunch of people came into gaming. Sony was just another. Sony was just.
Hold on. Let's move one generation up. Let's move to the Xbox One then, the OG Xbox. Okay. And a lot of the PlayStation games that many of the PlayStation games now that are on both systems now.
Okay.
People used to think that that Sony was the publishers of those games, because a lot of the games were withheld from the OG Xbox. Would you deny that?
No. I'm not going to deny it.
Right. So
what does that? So what does that mean? There's been a ton of games throughout time, right? There's been throughout the history of time. That's exclusives. That's been a thing since the fucking ColecoVision and television.
So guess what? All because Microsoft are assholes and they have long memory, and they have been waiting for years for this. They are going to make Call of Duty everything exclusive,
and that's fine. But here's the thing: Sony did not create exclusivity. As a matter of fact, Microsoft with the OG Xbox had nothing but exclusive. You're forgetting it had its own sports line, the XSN line, which include in NFL Fever. Listen, hold on. Let me finish cooking. Xbox had its own shit. As a matter of fact, it had Midtown Madness, right? It had a lot of games that was from the fucking PC because it was easier to do it that way. Microsoft had exclusives. Exclusive has always been a thing. Mario is one of the. Mario is one of the oldest exclusives out there. Why is it? Why are you going to say
I'm not talking
Sony
about
is
games.
bad for having exclusives?
I am not talking about
That's what
games
you
that
said.
are published by the games that were published by Sony, the games that were owned by Sony. Yeah, games that were owned by Sony, like games are owned by games are owned by Nintendo. We're not talking about those inclusive. We're talking about like the Resident Evils. They didn't own that shit.
No. They didn't own it, but you know what happened. You know what happens, right? If you have a large install base, that means people are willing. Listen. That means people are willing to work with you because you have a large install base. That means you have more customers for them to sell their product to. You know that, right? Like I don't understand why
I know that, but it wasn't underlying.
Why is that some puzzling thing?
We can't call it 10, 12 games. All of these games.
Wait. Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy 7 remake, Final Fantasy 16, right? Forspoken, you know why those games are on fucking PlayStation and not Xbox, right? It's because Sony has a large install base. And Sony was able to position it to where, hey, listen, we have a larger install base. Plus, we will pay and we will do the marketing for you. On top of that, we will send some of our developers over to help you with the game to get it working and get it going. This is part of a service that we will offer you. Yoshi P, the guy who created Final Fantasy 16, said that's why that Final Fantasy 16 is exclusive right now for the moment. I'm not saying it's always exclusive, but for the moment, this is why they decide to go with PlayStation over any other person, because Sony offered the best deal. They offered the best deal. Not that Sony went. Yeah.
All right. Using that logic, would you be mad if Microsoft took all Activision Blizzard games, just like how they take Bethesda games and say these are now exclusive?
I would no. Listen,
from now, brother.
Let me tell you.
No.
Hold on. Let me answer. I want to answer Stoopies. I'm not going to be mad. You know why I'm not going to be mad? I'm not going to be mad for the simple fact that if this company decides to forego games on the larger install base and people who actually pay $70 for games, if they want to forego that, they can do that. Here's the downside. You're taking games that are already existing, that are already everywhere, and you're taking that away from everybody else. That's the difference that you don't want to acknowledge.
No, Fantasy 16.
Listen. Final Fantasy 16 never existed. It's not a previous game. It's a brand new game. Listen. Hold on. Let me finish. Final Fantasy 7 is a remake. Right? It's a remake. And on top of that, this game is available on PC. Also, keep in mind, this game was offered to Microsoft first. We know that during the court hearing, just like Marvel went to Sony first and offered the Spider-Man games and some of the other Marvel IPs. They offered them to Microsoft first, and Microsoft turned them down. But you guys turn a blind eye to that, right? You turn a blind eye to that and say it's Sony's fault that Sony got it. How is it Sony's fault that this company comes to Sony? Did you not know that, or do you at least?
No, I know that. No. I acknowledge that. I know that.
This will be a problem. Hold on. This will be a problem. Let's say Sony decided to buy Activision Blizzard, right? Since they have the larger and made it exclusive, right? That would still be wrong. But you would find a problem with that. You would find a problem with that, and I would find a problem with that. But because this is Microsoft, and because they are last place, and because, like you said, this is a Hail Mary, it's okay for you, right? So I don't personally, I don't have a problem with this, because at the end of the day,
if you're going to, if it's a Hail Mary, if all of us watch football, and if it's a Hail Mary, your team down by 6, you're on your 20-yard line, the clock's at 30 seconds. The clock's at 15 seconds. Never finish. The clock's at 15 seconds. We expect the quarterback to throw a Hail Mary. And if it works out, everybody celebrate. And if it fails, we're not disappointed, because that's expected to. That's the play Microsoft is doing.
No, this is not what Microsoft is doing. What Microsoft is doing, they're playing football, right? It's the fourth quarter, it's 5 seconds on the clock. Instead of them taking the football, giving it to the quarterback, and throwing a Hail Mary, they decided to buy the NFL. They decided to buy the NFL and automatically make the trophy the Xbox trophy, right? That's what they're doing. So you're being disingenuous when we're talking about that. You're not being honest about that.
Now, Jaydub,
hold on. Let me finish this last little bit, and I'll shut up, right? Do you guys remember back in the day, there was this game called NFL 2K5? Okay. It was a competing game to Madden. Madden game was full price, $59.99. This company called Visual Concepts, or 2K if you want to call them now, they said, you know what, we think we made a better product. And because we think we made a better product, we're going to offer it for $20. We're going to show people that we have a better product and at a cheaper price. So the competition, EA, says, damn, these motherfuckers got a better product and it's fucking half the price of what we charge it for us. Instead of them saying, instead of them saying, wait, let me finish. Instead of them saying, let's cut the price in half to match these guys, or let's increase the quality of this game so people can understand why our game is more, these motherfuckers said, you know what? Let's buy the exclusive license for EA so they can never make a football game ever in history.
Football.
And you're okay with that, because that's basically what Microsoft is doing. That's what you're saying, Stu Peace. And you didn't like it when, listen, you didn't like it when EA did it. So why like it when Microsoft did?
When Sony did it.
When did Sony ever do that?
No, when Sony did something similar back in the day when they were
name it. We talk about it. Tell me
when they bought the Lemmings guys, when they were like worth $20 million.
When did Sony ever do something like? When did they ever buy a publisher, or when did they ever buy a game that's already in existence, or that's already in existence on multiple platforms that comes yearly? And they say, you know what? No more competition. We're just gonna buy it. And come on, Stu, please tell me.
Does the new Call of Duty exist? Like Final Fantasy 16. The new Call of Duty don't exist yet. So it's not that they're taking a game.
You're a smart
They're gonna say Psygnosis, who owned Lemmings back in the day for like $20 million. That's what no, come on. I know, but I'm saying that's what they'll say, because technically they were a publisher.
I've talked to you for years, brother. You're a very smart man with a lot of integrity. We're not doing this. We're not making invisible scenarios, right? Try to make it. If it's bad, just say it's bad and just let the chips fall where they may. We're not making something that doesn't exist out of thin air.
Jaydub, I got you.
But guess what? Microsoft is going to do what Microsoft is going to do.
That was big. Oh wow, it blew. It was big, man. You know, Jack and Daxter, shit like that. That shit was big, dog. Like, oh wow, god damn.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Stu Peace, like you're trying to make a false equivalency that doesn't exist. This deal of this scope, this size has never been done in history. That's why the CMA, the EU, and the FTC are so fucking up Microsoft ass when it comes to this, because there's never in history been a deal done like this, or even at this stature. So for us to go out and create something that doesn't some kind of fake false equivalency, like why even do that? Let's just say, fuck it, Microsoft, they got the money, they want to do it, fuck it, let's let them do it. Let's just go with that instead of making up something that doesn't, like
Microsoft
I gave you a thorough example with the whole
Is Microsoft trying to save the artists?
Wait, Jaydub. Give them the
Microsoft trying to save the artists. Yes.
The Bungie breakdown.
So they're going to do all of that.
If they were doing the Bungie way, nobody would have no problems. Give them the Bungie breakdown, Jaydub. Let them know the difference.
Yeah, and it's a big difference, right? Think about it. Sony said day one, we're going to buy Bungie. They told you the reason why they're buying Bungie, because they're getting into games as a service. Bungie runs a successful games as a service game, and so they could give a lot of value there. They said, as a matter of fact, we're not only going to keep their games multi-plat, but it's not even going to be under the PlayStation umbrella. It's going to be under Sony Corp. Just so you guys are comfortable knowing that we're not going to pull any okie dokies, right? That's Sony. Now, I get it. I'm not saying that Microsoft has to be Sony. I'm not saying that I don't want this shit to go through. I'm just telling you the difference. If we can't even acknowledge, as gamers, acknowledge the difference, then that's a big problem.
Don't fall for the okie doke. When Sony bought Bungie, Activision deal was already in play. Everybody knew about the Activision deal. So they couldn't call the exclusive card because they would end up looking like hypocrites. So don't fall for the okie doke. That is not Sony style.
Already did the hypocrites. Look at Bethesda.
Yeah, Microsoft had already did that. They had already removed games from PlayStation that were already being made for PlayStation. You know that, stupid.
Yeah.
So
no.
Stop with the false equivalence.
What I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. They knew that if they said, Destiny would be exclusive, Microsoft could say, oh, that means it would strengthen Microsoft's position to make COD exclusive. But Microsoft don't need anything to make COD exclusive.
But
COD is going to be exclusive, and it's not going to be 10 years.
Microsoft had already bought Bethesda and made those games exclusive, so it was already there before Sony even bought Bungie. So that wasn't their thinking. Microsoft had already started doing the exclusive shit well before that, Stoopy. So that's another example that doesn't make sense.
After Sony's contracts were up, hey, that's it. Like the rest of the games, they go on to Microsoft. We got them. You know.
Here's the bigger picture, guys, and it is what it is, right? This Blizzard Activision deal is not, unfortunately, it's not going to change Microsoft's fortune when it comes to console game. And when I say console gaming, I mean as a console gamer who cares about the actual console. I do not care about a fucking mobile app. I do not care about the PC side. I do not care about the fucking streaming to the cloud or TVs.
Agreed.
I'm talking about the Xbox console that they sold us for $500 and $300 and $400, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Agreed.
That doesn't change anything with that. And so I think gamers are being short-sighted because their corporation that they like, right, that hasn't really done good in gaming for the last 25 years, are doing something else that is not really in the gaming realm, and they're willing to go scorch earth. Shout out to Stoopies for actually acknowledging that this corporation is willing to go scorched earth in something that is not even successful for gamers, not even beneficial for gamers. But it's okay because that's the corporation that we support and that we like. Me, on the other hand,
they expose the whole industry
about the corporation. I care about the bangers. If you ever notice PlayStation guys, they never care about the executives. They never care about Jim Ryan or Herman Hulse or anybody else. They always tout their bangers. They always tout their exclusives. That is true. Let's stop.
They also broke kayfabe too.
Let's stop. No. Let's stop with the false equivalencies again. Let's stop.
What about the Chinese guy who retired? They cared about him.
That's Nintendo. That's Nintendo. That's not Sony.
What's the Chinese guy that retired from Sony?
I don't give a damn.
We don't know. Like Stoopies. Again, let's stop with the false equivalencies, right? We had the last 2 generations of PlayStation guys talking about their PlayStation bangers. They touted their VR. They touted the power of their console. They touted that. They never once touted fucking Herman Hulse or Shuhei Yoshida or Sean. They never cared. It's all about the bangers. Xbox guys is the only fan base that cares about the executives. They're the ones that don't really care about the games. They care about the executives. And that's true. We all know that to be true. Just go look on Twitter. Just go look at, Phil Spencer looked handsome today in his suit. Aaron Greenberg, shout out to Lulu and shout out to these executives taking, I said come on, I'm not making this shit up. Right? Am I lying? Am I lying?
No.
I'm not lying. So it's
to me, Phil Spencer remind me of those white dudes who 100 years ago couldn't survive out in the wild.
Yes.
He's not my kind of dude. He's a venture player dude.
He's not a man's man, right? He's not a man's man, right?
Right. So
exactly.
Phil Spencer is not my dude.
Exactly.
Right? That's not my team.
Yeah.
That's not my team.
Hey,
but Stoopies, the only reason I said that is to say that one fan base is willing to say, you know what, fuck the games. Let's go scorch earth. We support you, Phil. We support you, Microsoft. We don't give a fuck about the games either. We're going to support you even at the detriment of our fucking hardware that you sold us that has yet to fulfill itself. And that's just the truth.
Also making the whole industry.
That's just the God honest truth. Nobody can deny that.
Exposing the whole industry in this court case doesn't help either, in my opinion.
Yes.
They made themselves look bad, and they make everybody look. The whole industry looks stupid.
It really burns at my skin when I see people trying to change history in gaming when I lived it, when I was there, day one.
I was there, man. Right? I got the scars to prove it.
I was a Sega guy. That's how I know so much. I was that guy. I told this story once before the Buck, but I'll tell you guys again. I was like the Xbox guys right now. I was that guy in denial. I didn't think that Sega would go away. I thought, these guys are going to come back with another console because the Dreamcast was ahead of its time. It was so far advanced with the VMU memory unit that you could play your NFL 2K and an NBA 2K, and you're ready to rumble and make your plays and choose all kind of stuff that had never been done before. It was cutting edge, right? It was one of the first, not the first, but one of the first with online broadband capabilities, right? With Power Stone and some of the other games, right? It had just the exclusives that we carried. It had the sports franchise that we loved. Everything from Joe Montana from the Sega Genesis all the way to primetime football from the Sega Genesis. It continued that legacy, right? With the NFL 2K, right? It continued this legacy that I love. I was a Sega guy back in the day. I wasn't really a Nintendo guy.
Honestly, I understand what you're saying, but honestly, I am a, what you call the word? Honestly, I wouldn't mind see it burning. I wouldn't mind see it burning. So that's why I want it to burn.
Yeah.
I want to see. Not tell you why I don't mind see it burning.
Yeah. Now, I was on a podcast. I was on a podcast last night, Stoopies. I was on a podcast last. You know Jay Barry?
Yeah.
Stoopies, you know Jay Barry? Okay. Yeah. He's a big. He's a PlayStation guy, but he's a big. First and foremost, he's a Call of Duty gamer. He loves Call of Duty. He plays the shit out of it. He has hundreds and thousands of hours in that shit.
Yeah.
And He's upset about the deal because of what it does for him. It doesn't allow him to get the stuff that he usually gets, the early time content and stuff like that. And then another thing, he made a great valid point. Because Microsoft doesn't care about gaming like that, right? He doesn't want to see his franchise potentially burn. If Microsoft willing to go to scorch earth, and let's say Call of Duty goes the way that Halo went, right? If they run Call of Duty the way that they run Halo, what does that leave? Where does that leave the Halo fans? I mean, the Call of Duty fans. So, if you're a Call of Duty guy, where does that leave? You know?
No. Let me tell you why I want it to burn. And you might not agree with me on this, but this is why I want it to burn. Because this is not the golden era of gaming. What we have now is not the golden era of gaming.
Why not? I think it is.
The golden era of gaming is the PlayStation 2 era of gaming. PlayStation 2.
I mean, that's all relative to the person.
I disagree. I think last generation was the best generation ever in the history of gaming.
What the best game? What were the memorable games last generation? Tell me 5 memorable games last generation.
Bloodborne.
God of War.
Bloodborne was garbage. And we know it.
Ghost of Tsushima.
God of War is not from last generation.
Ghost of Tsushima. Uncharted. The Last of Us. No. You asked me. You asked me why did I say that was, and I'm giving you the games of why that defined. I'm giving you that, right? Last generation, it gave us the games that I named. On top of The Last of Us, on top of that, on top of it ushered in a generation of content creators that had never been before in history. You would not know a Stu Pease or a Jaydub or a Buck or a Next Gen 720 if it wasn't for last generation. Because these consoles last generation created the content creator. It created us in our personalities.
The memories made from the Fortnite. It
ushered in VR.
Yeah.
You didn't have virtual reality.
Listen, Destiny.
Until you had it last generation. You didn't have games as a service type games on consoles. Until you had it last generation.
Yeah.
So last generation is
till they're adults.
I believe the golden era of gaming because it ushered in so much.
Yeah,
and we talked about it earlier, how last generation. So there was more games sold last generation than every single generation combined. And that's games bought, not in a service. So that's proof. Dollars, that's proof in cents.
The growth.
That's proof in the hardware that was sold. Think about it. Last generation, the PlayStation 4 sold what, 125 to 130 million consoles? The PlayStation 2, hold on, that generation only lasts 7 years. The PlayStation 2 sold 150 million copies, but over 10 years. So if last generation would have lasted 3 extra years, it would have surpassed the PlayStation 2 in total sales. And these are just irrefutable facts. Yes.
Can I rebut? No. Can I rebut?
Go ahead.
Because the games that you listed, although they were released last generation, none of them originated in last generation.
It doesn't have to.
Except Bloodborne.
It doesn't have to.
And we know that was garbage.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have
Bloodborne, to. We know that was garbage.
It doesn't have
Gaming has not innovated. Gaming is stagnant.
That's not true.
Of games.
That's not true. That's not true. Let me tell you how it innovated. Last generation was able to take an old IP like God of War, a hack and slash game. It was able to turn it into a over-the-shoulder, third-person, story-driven narrative that basically is getting a movie created after it. It was able to create games like The Last of Us, a third-person, over-the-shoulder type game that ushered in one of the highest viewed TV shows on cable, on streaming networks, right? It's able to create all of these IPs were able to create not only games to extend over into following generations, but music, movies, TV shows, and everything else. It was a lot of stuff being able to be created from that. And that's not just creating it from scratch, but it's turning it something that's old into new.
Look
so
at
for people
if that's innovative to you, I will stand down.
That's
I will
very
stand down.
It is.
I will stand down if you say that's innovative. I will stand down.
It is. Because guess what? Guess what,
these
Stu
two
Peace?
generations have done nothing innovative.
No, Stu Peace. The only reason you say it hasn't, because you're an Xbox gamer and you only ever been getting Halo, Gears, and Forza for the last 15 years.
No.
That's why you think it's stagnant. It's not stagnant. No, I get it. I get it now, but I'm saying the reason why it feels like to you, right? But when I play a game like Returnal, or when I play a game like Synapse, or when I play
Returnal,
yes, yes,
time travel game.
It's a what? Returnal, great fucking game.
You like the time travel game, like you die and you play back.
It's not. I wouldn't say a time travel. You mean a roguelike?
It's similar to the Tom Cruise movie.
It's in PlayStation Plus, so you should play it. Try it. It's
similar to the Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, it's a highly rated game, and it was nominated for Game of the Year. So give it a try. So here's the thing, Stu Peace. And when I boot up my Gran Turismo 7 and I'm able to play it in virtual reality in my racing cockpit, just like you talked about earlier, that you sold to the young kid, right? These are things that are indisputable. They might not be your cup of tea, but guess what? There's hundreds of millions of people. Matter of fact, 120, 130, 140, 150 million people, maybe 160 million with the PS4 and PS5 right now, right? 160 million people that disagree with you. So maybe it's subjective. I don't know, but it's Stu Peace versus 160 million people.
No. Let's use that 160 million number. Let's use that 160 million number.
Okay.
Because the attachment rate is 10%. For most games on PlayStation. So when you say 160 million people, you have to be honest. What is the attachment rate for most games?
Okay. So let's do attachment rate.
No. What's that?
No. You said it. No. I'm saying it. You said that rate. Let's proceed down the road.
Right.
PlayStation attachment rate 160 million gamers compared to 40 million Xbox One and Xbox Series combined 40-50 million, right? What is that attach rate like?
No.
So no. Let's be fair. No.
We're not arguing.
We're comparing Xbox to PlayStation attach rates.
5% for Xbox, 10% for PlayStation.
No way. 1% for matter of fact, less than 1% for Xbox. All right.
Okay, less than 1%, 10% for PlayStation.
No.
Tell me the game.
Okay, let's say 10% for PlayStation and 0.5% for Xbox.
Okay, and that
because Xbox gamers didn't buy games. Remember, because they didn't buy games. That's why they got Game Pass, where they put it in the service, because they didn't.
Yeah, we don't buy games. I don't buy games now.
No. I'm going by the numbers. The numbers say that Xbox gamers don't buy games. The numbers.
I don't buy. Honestly, I don't buy games now because there's too much games in Game Pass that I haven't played yet, and
Absolutely.
I don't see the same. Why
Absolutely, you're a Game Pass type gamer, so that fits you, right? But
I'm not buying any games with Game Pass.
Stu Peace, you don't care. You don't listen. You don't care about. You don't care about. You don't care about. You don't care about the best. You don't care about the best games, right? You don't care about. You don't care about GOATs. You don't care about groundbreaking award-winning games. You don't care about.
Neither does 120 million PlayStation game owners.
You care about. No, I get it, right? You don't care about. You don't care about bangers. You care about like the red falls, right? You're okay with the red falls, and that's fine, right? You're okay with the bleeding edges and the red falls. There's a gamer for everybody. I mean, not everybody can like those. 120
million PlayStation gamers.
Absolutely. There's 35 million. There's 35 million Spider-Man gamers that paid $70 for the game. Right? It is what it is. That is true. It is. It is what it is. There's 25 million God of War gamers. There's 35. Hold on. There's 35 million The Last of Us gamers. There's 25 million Ghost of Tsushima gamers, right? I'm just giving you the numbers. We got the numbers. Sony actually shares and give out sales numbers. That's something that Microsoft don't.
I have to jump off, but we're going to get this conversation another day.
Take care, Stoopies.
Oh, man.
120 million PlayStation people. But I enjoy the conversation.
Take care, brother. Take care. Yeah, but Buck, just to fit Ron, that's why I'm glad Sony actually gives out numbers, right? So we can see the progress.
Yeah.
They actually tells you, hey, this is how many people bought fucking Horizon, right? There's fucking 20 million Horizon. There's 30 million God of War. They actually show those numbers. Microsoft won't give you the number of sales. They won't give you Game Pass numbers. They won't give you nothing. And that leads to Stoopies type gamers, right? That are okay with Redfall. They don't buy games. And salute to them. They're good people. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying that you got top tier gamers that like fine dining, and then you got motherfuckers that like Chicken Shack gamers, right? Yeah. It's okay. As long as you're fed. It's okay.
I'm a fucking cheap motherfucker too, but I still understand the concept of what it's time to buy a ticket to the fucking
like Z said,
movie.
Not everybody like a bitch with big titties and a fat ass.
I know there comes a time you have to fucking pay to play. It is what it is. Like just this idea that it's gonna just come cheap. Yeah, if you wait, you can be a waiting gamer. Like a lot of Steam people are like that. You wait for deals and shit. You can be one of those gamers too if you want. Hey, if you want to buy a Series S, that option is there for you, where you get Jedi Fallen Order 2 years later, while everybody else is playing the new Jedi shit. You want to be that shit.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I've been gaming for a long time. I cringe when I see people say that they don't care about great games. I'm like, why the fuck are you here? Why do you want to be a bleeding edge gamer? Why are you okay with Redfall? Like, they're okay. Like, they're like, oh, I don't care. Who cares? But see, those are the people that, like, I don't count when it comes to gamers. I wouldn't, like, if I'm Microsoft or Sony, I wouldn't count those as gamers. Those are toe dippers. When they get bored, they just dip their toe into gaming, but they're not. I wouldn't count them as gamers. For one, they don't buy games. So therefore, when you don't buy games, you don't have a certain affinity for caring for it. That's why a lot of people say they don't like Game Pass, because it leads to a bunch of fodder, a bunch of like if you got an iPhone or Android, you go to the Android store, the Apple store, it's loaded full of fucking shit.
Bloatware.
Right? A bunch of shit games. A bunch of fucking shovelware. And that's how Game Pass is. Game Pass is like shovelware. It's full of games that people may try, but then they'll delete because they realize it's 99% bullshit.
You gotta pay to play. It is what it is. And that includes these services.
If you want quality, you have to pay for it.
Well, you gotta pay for it.
Let me ask you this. If you go to a steakhouse and they say, hey, this is a buffet, all you can eat steak, would you expect to get the same quality of steak there versus Ruth's Chris?
No.
I expect to get my black ass kicked out.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you don't go if you look fine dining.
Yeah, they're gonna cut corners,
You go. That's like going to go eating a steak at Golden Corral, saying that's the same as eating a steak from Ruth's Chris. It's not.
You got
two totally different steaks. The quality is fucking night and day.
Well, first of all, the service.
One tastes like butter; it melts in your mouth. The other one is like fucking a piece of fucking sole of a shoe.
oh shit!
And that economy feeds on itself because then they're able to charge a certain amount, right? And then they have enough money to have the right employees, the services. You're not gonna get food fucking poisoning. Like every time if you go to fucking goddamn Taco Bell, you're just rolling the dice that you're gonna get fucking E. coli, you know, just because they can't afford to hire motherfuckers that are gonna be, you know, people come and go in a fucking fast food, you know, establishment, you know, when they work there. It's not like some like long-term career, you know, you're in and out. So it's like you're always kind of, you know.
Popeye's got me a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It is just, it's
I mean, like I said, that's all on top of everything else. Like, to me, that's what Game Pass is right now. And all these options are great, but it's on top of paying to play. Like, if you want to pay for the new movie that comes, like, you know, you got to pay.
Xbox is McDonald's, and Sony is like fucking Outback.
But do you see what Microsoft did? Microsoft was able to change these dudes' gaming habits. They used to be like, Halo is the best game ever. Gears is the best game ever. This game is the best. They used to say that.
Yeah, this quarter pounder look juicy.
But did they really?
Where now they're like, you know, they're getting fucking Redfall, and they're like, oh, I'm having
no. But
fun.
Here's the question: did they really change that? Did they really change mini gamers to really think that? Because that's just on the surface. But if you look at the habits of actually playing and buying and all that shit, have they really changed anything? Like, not really.
You may be right.
For the most part, most people still consume what they did before. You just
well, but it's because they've only ever got that.
You might buy more digital now.
If you only ever get Halo, Gears, and Forza for the last 15 years, like, of course, that's all you're gonna continue to play, right? Mm-hmm. That's all you've been getting. But now Halo is ran into the ground. They're gonna, you know, I guess Microsoft is gonna be like, well, now they have something else to replace Forza with. I mean, Halo with. It's gonna be fucking Call of Duty.
And you can't use the digital thing too, because everybody, I think, is pretty much on board and fine with it. People pay $70 goddamn now for a digital that don't come with jack shit. You know, you're paying it. Basically, you're paying that price because you want to play it now, because it's out and the marketing has been insane and you can't stand it. All your friends are gonna be talking about it, so you got to play it now, or you're gonna get spoiled. Blah blah blah. Everything that goes just like any other entertainment. You know, you want to be fucking experiencing it when everybody else is. And you got to pay for that. Full price. It's like you go to Six Flags, you know. You want to pay $10 and go to Six Flags?
Yeah.
The carnies and shit. Go ahead. No.
So here's the thing. This Steven Totillo, he's an analyst. It got leaked in the court case. The Xbox CFO Tim Stewart, his email came. He said the FTC says Microsoft had forecasted 10 million sales on PlayStation for both Starfield and Indiana Jones. ZeniMax had already anticipated that they would be able to sell 10 million copies for both Starfield and Indiana Jones before making them exclusive. Microsoft decided to make them exclusive, saying that they could possibly make up the money, recoup the money through Game Pass and extra Xbox sales.
So they basically, they lied to them?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically.
that's what it sounds like.
PlayStation was going to make Starfield and Indiana Jones worth it, because Xbox guys, since they don't buy games, they wouldn't have bought those games anyway. So Sony would have basically, the amount of money the PlayStation dudes would have spent for those games would have paid for those games. So Microsoft is really shooting themselves in the foot with that shit.
Plus, you're gonna get a shittier product in the end result too, If the economy's not there, you're just gonna end up cutting the budget.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of glad these games are exclusive because it's gonna highlight a lot of shit. It's gonna highlight Microsoft Xbox itself. If they can't get these games running and looking good on Xbox only, you can't blame, you can't treat it like a multi-plat and blame the developers. This is your first party hardware. This is your first party game. It's really going to highlight Microsoft just as a brand, as being fucking shit.
Hey, shout out to Melo's little Ronnie's son. He's here after the 4-hour fucking Jaydub marathon where this motherfucker's got coming off a COVID bout, and he's
facts, man.
4 hours.
Hey man, we trying to keep hope alive for my brother Next Gen 720, man.
Yeah. This is where that. We did a telethon. Make sure y'all go
cash app that brother. Go super chat him something. Leave him some, some well wishes and stuff like that.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back. Everybody was saying that he was going to come back today, so
yeah, he'll be back soon.
Damn. Thriller Ali still here?
I think I'm tapped out, man. My voice starting to mess with me.
I'm drinking cold espresso. It's barely keeping me awake.
Dude, I had to run a while ago and give me a bottle of water, man. I thought I was gonna pass out.
I'm just playing these videos in the background and shit.
My brother Mello is Lil Rodney's son. He said Jaydub says nothing but the truth. Big facts, brother. Big facts.
I mean, shit. Maybe we got through to maybe not Stu Peas. I think he wants to see everything.
I'm glad I had that conversation with Stu Peas.
He's onto something too, because I said that when this court shit was going on, that it felt like that's exactly what they were doing while exposing the whole business was like a sort of self-sacrifice. They're just like, fuck it, we're just gonna commit suicide in front of everybody, like kind of thing.
Look,
that's the way I took it.
I think listen, I think they need to go the Sega route.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's what it looks like.
Grace. Go out with grace. Don't drag gaming down into the gutter with you. Like that's a bitch move. Because you're fucking up. You're taking away practically the world's largest IP. You're gonna fucking make that shit trash, like you made all your first party game trash, and then you're gonna
string it along the community. I don't like that.
Well, I do. I'm gonna be honest. I do want the community to go away. I think they need to make a separate community called the Phil Spencer community, and then let them get out of gaming and move on to whatever it is that they do.
Being in and out the console part, and then but you're kind of you're appealing to the PC people, but why you got to string along the console people thing? It's not right to do that, because they really think it's gonna like turn around for the fucking
well, the thing about the PC people,
I mean, if you can get them all to go to the PC, that's fine. Then I don't feel so bad. But
the thing about the PC though, the PC people, they don't have no skin in the game. It costs them little or nothing, right? They don't have to pay for Xbox Live. They don't have to pay for shit. They get to just reap the rewards, right? It's the Xbox gamers, the console gamers that
they're getting the shittier versions of everything that's on PC.
Yeah, basically. They're being sacrificed. And they're okay. They're taking it smiling. As long as an executive shake their hand. And that's I said, that's I've never seen anything like it before, man.
I mean, that's one corner of the culture of it that kind of we see.
Thriller Ali, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I never said I wanted Sony running gaming alone. Sony would never run gaming alone. That's what you got Nintendo for. They balance each other out. Microsoft has been in gaming for 24 years and they still haven't figured this shit out. So technically, Sony has been going at it alone. If you want to look at it from that standpoint,
that's another thing. It's bad.
Yeah, and Sony can't go rogue. They can't raise prices and do all this other shit, right? Because their bread and butter is gaming. Nintendo can't do fuck shit because their bread and butter is gaming.
Yep.
Microsoft is the only company where gaming is fucking like it's a tax write-off. They literally make no money. When I say money, I ain't talking about revenue. I'm talking about profits, right? So they're just here just to be here. It's kind of like that old mentality. We just want a Windows console in every house, or we just want Windows device in it. They still on that other bullshit. And at this point in time, they moved away from that. So if Microsoft goes away, if Xbox goes away, that's not going to change. Phil Spencer just came out and told you that a month ago, that no matter what they do, they'll still be in last place because Sony and Nintendo are too strong in their perspective at what they do. Sony on the high end, they create big blockbuster AAA games. They invest hundreds of millions of dollars. Nintendo, they do the home console that kind of cater towards kids. It caters towards this and that. Nintendo is not competing in the mobile space. They don't have cell phone games. Don't let Microsoft and those dudes try to blend that. The Nintendo Switch is a console. It's a portable console, but it's still a console. So at the end of the day, they're all fighting for our dollars, for the same bucket of gamers. Let's say there's 200, 300 million gamers out there, right? Console gamers. They're all fighting for that. Sony has about 150 of 100 of them, 120. Nintendo has, let's say, 80. I'm just throwing some. I don't know the numbers. Nintendo has about 100 million. Microsoft has about 40, right? That's just where it is. Microsoft, do you really want them here just to be here? Just to say they're here? If they're not really providing you with anything, they're not excelling in anything. Thriller Ali, why be here? They're clearly they're not content with just being last place forever. Even though they've been last place forever for over fucking 25 years. Don't be afraid to let these motherfuckers leave and let somebody else come in.
Yeah, we know it's about money.
Same with Sega. When Sega left, nobody cried and screamed, "Oh my God, game is dead." No, somebody else came in. Microsoft came in.
Yeah, but also at the same time, they didn't exist in a time where you can develop this culture that surrounds the celebrity of the new, which is, if you look at it, what they've tried to do is what a lot of like different entertainment has tried to move into, even like our rock stars from the 90s and shit. The way they've had to, there used to be a wall between us, right, and the fucking whoever, any rock star or rapper from the 90s. There was a little bit of mysteriousness, but now it's like you got to feel like you know them. So that culture didn't exist back then, where you have this culture of where people feel like they know these fucking executives because they follow them, and then they see them walk their dog or something, even though that's their work shit. They're putting up social media shit because
we know the only reason that happened is
it's the corporate thing, but
Xbox didn't have games.
Yeah, it's a face. It's a face that they started putting on to ingratiate.
Maybe if we be more interactive with these guys, that'll buy us some goodwill. That'll buy us some time until we get some games. And it worked, but it worked too well because guys put the games on the back burner and then just started focusing on the executives.
Agreed.
Like a guy would rather have dinner with Phil Spencer than to have a really nice, game.
Final Fantasy 16.
You know what I'm saying? So Thriller Ali, he says, if every game was AAA with AAA budget, then a lot of these developers will go out of business. Not true. Look at Stray. Look at Hi-Fi Rush. There's a lot of successful games that are not AAA. A game is a game.
It just need to be good.
Yes, It Takes Two it won Game of the Year.
That was a good
couple
game.
of years ago. It was a good game. It doesn't matter if it's AAA or AA or whatever. You know, the matter of fact is that the company with the most money to be able to make big blockbuster AAA decided they don't want to make big blockbuster AAA games. Yep. So that left it up to Sony to invest $200 million on big blockbuster AAA. But the good thing about that is they were willing to take that risk, but it was a risk that turned into big rewards because they made $300 million in profits. So they made their $200 million back plus $300 million more dollars. So that allows them to make another God of War and another The Last of Us and another Ghost of Tsushima, right? And another Horizon. And that's why developers tell people, if you want good games, support your games, buy them at launch. Though that money goes back into giving you sequels, and not just giving you sequels, but giving you new games that's going to come out. Let's say God of War and Horizon Forbidden West bombed. Let's say they didn't sell anything. Guess what? That'll be the end of God of War. Guess what? Sony probably wouldn't invest in big blockbuster AAA anymore. But because they're able to sell 35 million copies of Spider-Man, we're going to keep getting Spider-Man. We're going to get a fucking Wolverine game. And there's another Marvel comic game that they got that just came out in the court case. There's a third Marvel game that Sony got that has yet to be announced. So that's why if you're a gamer, buy your games and support them. Support your platform. If not, you're going to get these games that you've been getting from Xbox. You can't cry when you're getting a Redfall. Listen, Thriller Ali said, just because Xbox is in third place doesn't mean the division isn't profitable. Microsoft built an ecosystem for third-party support. Gamers play more third-party games on all three systems. That's not true. Yes, more gamers play third-party games on Xbox because Xbox doesn't really have first-party games like that. That's true. But PlayStation sells and has more third-party games on it. There's more people play COD on PlayStation than they do Xbox. There's more people that play Fortnite. Matter of fact, there's not a game that's on console gaming that doesn't sell more or is played more on PlayStation, period. Xbox is last in every metric, sir, in every single metrics. It's just the facts. The numbers don't lie. I'm not saying, listen, if that's where Microsoft want to be, they can be there. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But you have to acknowledge that Microsoft has been in gaming for 25 years. Next year will be 25 years. Thriller Ali, Madden, 2K, GTA, COD, Fortnite, all of them third-party games. Yes, sir. And all of those games sell more and are played more on PlayStation. Those are the facts too. So I don't get what you're trying to say. All of those games sell more and are played more on PlayStation than Xbox. So I'm trying to get what you're getting at. PlayStation has those games, and PlayStation has a shitload of second party and first party games. Xbox basically only have those games, and Halo, Gears, and Forza, and that's it. And then you wonder why people say Xbox is. Listen, it's not that people say Xbox is in last place. The numbers don't lie. They are last place. Phil Spencer said that they were in last place. You're gonna have to take that up with Phil Spencer himself. Either that guy is lying, or you just don't want to acknowledge that they're in last place, and it's fine.
Maybe he was playing possum for the CMA.
Maybe they've been just Maybe they've been playing possum for the last 25 years.
Jaydub, they're about to they're about to shift into high gear. They're gonna shift into high gear.
Here's the thing, Buck.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Call of Duty is gonna be owned by Microsoft. And guess what? Call of Duty is still gonna sell more on PlayStation than it does on Xbox. Even if it's in Game Pass, there's going to be more people playing COD on PlayStation than Xbox. Those are just numbers, sir. There's only 21 million Xboxes out in the wild.
You don't think they're going to leave in droves to go to play on the Series S? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, come on. What are we doing here?
When they get COD?
What are we doing here? Why are we going to go in? They're
going to take they're going to take the PlayStation 5s back. And they're going to trade them in for the Series S. And
Ali,
in droves.
Listen, brother. I wish
you don't know.
Xbox was in a better, Thriller Ali say exclusives are nice to have, but are not a necessity. As long as the ecosystem.
But do you remember that though? About not even a year ago, but just even less than a year ago, people were saying that was actually what was going to happen. But nobody's kind of saying that now because Phil said that was not going to happen. So, but it is strange how things have changed. So
Thriller Ali, what you're saying is a loser's mentality. Nothing against you. I'm just saying exclusives are nice to have, but are not a necessity. Exclusives is the reason you buy a console over another one. And you're saying that, they nice to have.
That's the tip-off.
This is why gamers,
to me,
flock to PlayStation and not Xbox. That's why the majority of people flocked. This is why PlayStation has 160 million people in its ecosystem, and Xbox only has 40. That's because of that reason. That's same. But guess what? Once Xbox gets some exclusives, you're gonna change what you're saying now. It's gonna become, exclusives are great. It's the reason why people buy a console. You're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have exclusives, then exclusives don't matter. But when you get exclusives matter.
Yeah,
just like right
exclusives.
Now, Xbox dudes are hyping up COD, and those ABK games are about to be exclusive. They're hyping that up. You know why? Because they knew all along exclusives mattered. It's that they just didn't have exclusives, so they had to save face.
Yeah, of course.
Lie in public and say that exclusives don't matter. Even though deep down they knew that exclusives
would Starfield be more? Starfield wouldn't be as special to the bots if PlayStation guys could play it too. Come on, I mean, let's be honest.
They wouldn't be so happy about Starfield.
That's what makes it
PlayStation.
That's what makes them like it more, is because PlayStation guys can't play it.
Absolutely.
And for some of them, they're not even going to play it, but the fact that fucking PlayStation guys can't play it is going to make them happy by itself without playing it. I mean, so you can't say that's not true. People love the bragging rights of their system,
I mean, at the end of the day,
that's the culture of it.
Xbox is last place. They'll forever be last place in gaming. The fan base will forever be a last place fan base. They'll forever get the worst games.
Well, I mean, technically, Sega fan base is last place at this point.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
Maybe not in the hearts of Sega fans.
They hope and feel by Sega, right? We hope you buy the last place guy. Do you know how contagious being a loser is? Being a loser is very contagious because people start clumping together with other losers and other people with the same mentality. Like, if you're a winner, you only want to hang around winners. You only want the best, right? But then if you're a loser, you only kind of bundle yourself in groups of other losers. That's why Sega lost. So Xbox dudes, they got a real affinity for Sega. They want Phil to buy Sega. Why do you want Phil to buy the loser? You see what I'm saying? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I've never been that type of person. I'm like, I want the best of everything. I don't want the last place of anything. Gorilla Ali, what good is profitable to a $3 trillion company? If you, which one do you prefer? I mean, are you a gamer? Does gaming come first to you, or does watching a corporation's pocket come first? That's all I'm gonna say. As a gamer, like, you should just only care about the games. Sony doesn't have the most money, but right? Sony doesn't have the most money, but they have the best games. Do you see how that works?
Sega.
Having the best games to me is better. Like, the money don't mean shit to me. Having the better, because I'm a gamer. The games are a necessity to me, not Phil's pockets. No, Thrill Ali. I'm not talking about their IPs. I'm talking about in the console space, because they lost in the console space. And I'm gonna be honest, those Sega IPs that you guys are clamoring for now, when Sonic sold horribly on Xbox, it sold more on PlayStation. All the Yakuza games sell way more on PlayStation, and it barely sells on Xbox. We know this. Those numbers are just not on your side, no matter what argument you're coming from. Mello is little right and said, I used to be a game to the crumb side in 2020. Big facts. This is the first time in history, man, I ever ran into a fan base. A Buck, we still live? I think we offline, brother.
Oh, it's probably freeze it up, because I keep seeing jittery things happen. Yeah, I think we're still on.
Anyway,
it's probably just dropping.
I think my voice is collapsing, brother.
Oh yeah, it is kind of. It is
for about 4 hours. Hey, listen, man, I gave y'all 4 hours, man. This is a next gen, a comeback next gen stream. You know what I'm saying? This is I need y'all to send that brother some super chats and some cash apps.
Yeah. Oh man, you're gonna go now. You're just gonna start naming off all the awesome old Sega. You know what? Those games still exist, and we can still play them too. Like, that's what's crazy.
Yeah. But guess what? Microsoft is not gonna give. If they buy Sega, they're not gonna give you none of those games.
Yeah, remakes of those. I can't see that either. Like, I would hope not.
Those games were classic because they were in a classic time with a classic console, when the company cared about the console and they cared about
Sega is a Japanese company with arcades and theme parks and shit. Do we really want fucking Microsoft owning that? It's like a cultural. Sega is cultural to Japan. Yes. Like, I mean, come on. What do we do? We're bugging out here at this point.
Why do they expect a company that ran their IPs, own IPs into the ground to where their own IPs?
Yeah, just so they can own the IP.
Why do they expect them to do something great in gaming? I will never understand.
Yeah, it froze for a second. That's probably my computer saying it needs to reboot. And
anyway, man,
my brain needs to reboot, and Jaydub's voice needs to reboot. So we should probably just fucking end it here.
Yeah,
we said everything there is to say.
Easy brothers. Thank y'all for coming and rocking out with us, man. Much love. Salute to all of y'all, everybody on the panel that came in to say their little piece. Stoopies. Ricky Brown came through.
It felt like Pastor came through, but that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Who was here earlier?
Freddie Wayne.
Freddie Wayne came through. That's right. Yeah.
Who else came through? Mr. Potato. Did he come through today?
Yeah. He was here. Yeah. He was here at the beginning too. Yeah.
I like when him and Pastor Joe go at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, I gotta go rest my voice and stuff like that. I'm gonna holler at y'all later.
Yeah.
Thanks, Buck. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm gonna play this out.
Stream.
Yeah. You never know when we're gonna pop up. We'll just pop up randomly. Shit. Wasn't fucking recording. Here, actually, let me go to this other. Oh, that's King Thrash. Thought I had a video.
Foolery and fuckery. We're back.
All right, take it easy.
Okay. All right.
Peace, brother.
Actually, let me play this again.
Such a shit wasn't that much.
Hey, you know what I
have to watch that shit.
You know what I realized until I watched it recently?
What's that, bro?
That nigga Scar was a bitch ass nigga as an uncle.
Oh, yeah. Nah, this nigga no problem.
Yeah, the Lion King. Yeah,
got a lot of undertones though, bro.
It do.
I watched the
Lion King got a lot of
that nigga
undertones.
fucked up, bro. That nigga killed his brother and fucked over his nephew, dog.
See, no, this is what we talking about. You mentioned Lion King,
man.
Good shit. That's why you'd have never seen Menace to Society. I seen right here.
Oh man, he tried to call me out. I'm high. Look though.
This nigga said he
He know who John Singleton was.
Yeah, right? Fine.
Hey,
That nigga ain't never seen Menace to Society.
Yo.
Damn.
I know who Steven Spielberg is, nigga.
I'm on this game.
Let me see a card real quick. Let me get a black card real quick. Let me just look at it, man. Got it, bro.
Get over that shit, fuck nigga.
Damn, hey, no, you know what's crazy about it? Just for Scar to end up turning around getting clapped by the nigga.
Sleazy Deezy? Yeah, he's working.
Hey, listen.
What's better? Toy Story or Lion King?
Lion King. Two different movies.
That's Big Cat.
Lion King.
Lion King have
Toy Story is not good. I don't like that first movie.
Might be honest, all three of them Lion King.
Hey, Ricky Brown. Way better. Toy Story is considered one of the best trilogies ever made in movie history. You don't want to debate box office either. All them Toy Stories always.
The real story.
The reason this one's considered stolen is because they. Yeah, no.
What's up, bro?